Yes, people, welcome back to DR Sports. This is the Saturday football show. I'm joined to my left, Matisse. How we doing, bro?
Good, bro. Listen, it's good to be back. Now I'm sitting in the hosting chair.
Oh, big boy seat, big boy settings.
Big boy time now, do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, big up, man. Good to be back.
It's good to be here. We're joined as well to my right, man like Neeks. How we doing, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. My debut here on the Saturday show. You know, obviously, I've been in the studio before, but Man United's not playing today, so I can relax and hope for, some bad results for some of our rivals. Well, the one rival sitting here. I like Newcastle.
Yes. Be a rival in just a couple of years' time. Couple of years' time, we're coming for you, mate. Don't worry about that. We'll obviously touch on that huge game tomorrow, the Manchester Derby.
Do we have to?
Later on, we'll do. We're going to put you through it. That's why you're here, mate. You know what I mean? It's behind you. So we're going to put you through it. It's going to be. It could be a stressful day for me and Matisse. He's got Burnley, I've got Brighton, so a lot of other games to get through today as well. Big up everyone that's in the chat. Keep the comments coming in. Subscribe and like. We're here closing in on 200,000 subscribers on DR Sports. So if we just go through, we'll talk about the game that's just finished actually, Matisse, at the King Power. Leicester with a 1-0 win there over Leeds United. New Leeds United. Bielsa gone, Jesse March in. What do you think of that? What do you make of that game? 1-0.
It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. Oh, me, do you know what I'm saying? Jesse March, do you know what I'm saying? It's an improvement. They were getting slapped up left, right and centre every single game, so it's good to get a little 1-0 sneak out of there. I think for Leicester it's huge though, because Brendan Rodgers, he needed that win under his belt. He is under some serious pressure. Leicester fans are starting to question him. The club is starting to question him.
We've got some. I'll just cut you off, mate. Apologies because your mic isn't working, so we're going to work on that. So, Neeks, I'm going to ask you the same question. But before I do that, I will remind everybody that chair is empty for now, but it won't be for much longer. About half an hour or so, the Don himself will be in the studio. Don Robbie on his way, so stay tuned for that. Neeks, Leicester 1-0 over Leeds. How did you see that?
Listen, as a Man United fan, I'm not upset when Leeds lose. I like when Leeds lose. However, Leeds are a big side, so having them in the Premier League and Man United playing them every season and hopefully beating them is what I want to see. So I don't want them to go down, but I don't want them to be very successful. So it's a decent performance from Leicester, obviously not, from Leeds, and obviously not the result they want. As far as Leicester go, I mean, Brendan Rodgers, he's been linked to Arsenal. He's been linked to Man United. I've even heard talks about possibly becoming Man City manager at some point. He has got a lot to prove because you can't be, if you're going to be at a big club and producing week in, week out, you can't have a drop off like he has this season. They're sitting in mid-table. And back-to-back seasons, they were challenged for top 4. Yes, he won the FA Cup. Yes, he won the Community Shield. But if you're going to really put your name in the hat for a big job, you have to make sure you're up there year in, year out. Let me give you David Moyes, for example, when he got the Man United job. Whether he was ready or not, I don't think he was ever going to be good enough for Man United. But he had Everton in the top 6, sometimes once in the top 4, consistently challenging for top 4 every season without any failure. Not playing the same fancy football that Leicester play, but consistently getting the results. And Brendan Rodgers, I mean, this season's been awful. If they can sneak into a European place, I'm talking Conference League, 8th, 7th, then it's been a good comeback. But as it stands, this result was massive because, as Matisse said, the Leicester fans are on his back.
I think for Leicester as well, I do feel for him a little bit just because I see the injuries they have. Justin, Fofana, Vardy's been out as well. I think to myself, and also missing out on Champions League football, like you said, back to back. I think 5th place finishes in the Premier League
on the last day of the season.
FA Cup as well. Let's not forget about the FA Cup.
They won the FA Cup, so that's obviously a great achievement. To just miss out on Champions League football consecutively, I think motivation-wise, very hard to get that team going again. How do you remotivate that squad to say we're going to go and get it this time after back-to-back failures? Obviously, there's contracts running out, Tielemans and whatnot, so maybe some players are starting to look on their next move. I think it's a difficult job. I think he's done well. We have to remember who Leicester are. Do you know what I'm saying as well? So I think he's done a good job, but it's definitely probably time for him to move on and some of those players as well.
I mean, do you think he's maybe hit the ceiling with Leicester? How far can you really take this Leicester City side now?
I think so. I think when you miss out those 2 years where the big teams around were rebuilding, Chelsea were rebuilding, Manchester United were rebuilding, and they missed out. They've gone into this season, and granted, Man United are performing way below expectations, but they've kind of gone into this season. Most people would have given them no hope of getting top 4. They would have said, they probably said the top 4 sorted: Man United, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, and then you've got Arsenal coming back up. Spurs, now they had when they got Antonio Conte. It was always going to be a difficult ask this season. Potentially he's hit his ceiling. But where does he go from here? If he leaves Leicester, I think he can only go abroad. Yeah. Because who in the Premier League? What, maybe Spurs? If Antonio Conte doesn't... Yeah, I think maybe if Antonio Conte doesn't stay in the summer, maybe Spurs. But other than that, none of the other, big 6 clubs are gonna go in for him. So... Yeah. If he's going to move on from Leicester, maybe abroad. And maybe that'll be good for him. Maybe going abroad would be good for him and give him an opportunity to, win more stuff abroad and then have an opportunity to come to a big club if it comes available, later down the line.
Yeah, I could see Brennan doing a job abroad. But we'll move on to Leeds now. And obviously their new manager's debut today, Jesse Marsh. You said there was an improvement in terms of they didn't get battered. They didn't concede 4, 5 or 6 like they have been in recent weeks. Only the one today. And they did have lots of shots on target today at Leicester. They were threatening. Again, ultimately, though, came away with nothing.
It's difficult for Leeds, because they're in a relegation fight now. Last season they weren't involved in that. They finished in a nice, comfy mid-table. Before that, obviously, got promoted quite well as well with good football being played. So it's the first time a lot of these maybe players will be involved in a relegation battle for a while. And in the Premier League, it ain't no joke. We've seen Burnley take points off Tottenham, Newcastle. You know what I'm saying? Just slowly gliding up the table.
Chelsea today.
What? Why are we involved?
Burnley taking points off Chelsea today.
I've seen it. Straight down the table already, but yeah, I think for Leeds it's a switch of mentality now. It's a dogfight. I remember when Wigan Athletic used to get into those dogfights for the end of the season, Sunderland, Birmingham, those type of times, the bouncy clubs. Sean Maloney scoring against Man United at the JJB.
Maloney.
Do you know what I mean? Those are the moments that Leeds now need. Those are the moments that a football club needs when you're down there. You need that star, and I look at someone like Rafinha. He's going to have to dig deep. He's the star man of that team. Bamford's obviously been injured. There's been Phillips. There's been all these guys injured. Does he have the ability to dig deep and say, I'm gonna take you out of this battle?
That's the thing. Performing when things are going good and everybody, there's no pressure. It's all good. But as you said, the relegation dogfight is a different beast. Certain clubs in the past, maybe not so now, they will hire managers specifically just to get them out of the relegation zone. Certain players, you're like, you know what, we need to go and get him because he's done it before. Who in this league side has fought a relegation battle and survived it? I don't know. I don't know. So it's a new experience for a lot of them. And is it one they're going to come out of? Maybe just on the basis that there might just be 3 worst clubs. Not because they're going to do anything special, but I think there might just be. There's at least 2. We're talking Watford, Norwich, and there might be a 3rd. But listen, it ain't going to be easy.
It's going to be interesting, that relegation battle. There's a big one today, of course, at St James's Park. Newcastle are looking to make it 8 games unbeaten in the Premier League. The best run in over 10 years. Wow. And they're looking to do that against Brighton, though, who are a bogey side for Newcastle. They've played Brighton 9 times in the Premier League and never won them. Wow. Never beaten Brighton.
That's crazy.
Never scored a goal against them in 4 meetings at St James's Park.
Oh my goodness.
So a bogey team for Newcastle, definitely. But we'll get into the lineups now for Newcastle versus Brighton, and we'll run through all the other 3 o'clock Saturday game lineups in the Premier League. Martin Dubravka keeps his place in goal for Newcastle. Emil Kraft is the right back, with Kieran Trippier obviously out long term, unfortunately. Fabian Shaw and Dan Burn, ex-Brighton defender. Newcastle signed Dan Burn from Brighton for £13 million in January. He's a local lad, supports Newcastle. Got off to a great start in black and white. Matty Targett at left back. John Joe Shelby takes the captain's armband alongside Joe Willock and Joe Linton in midfield, who have been on fire of late. Still keeping out £35 million Brazilian Bruno Guimaraes. He's on the bench at the Bruno top of the day, Neeks. And then a front 3 of Ryan Fraser, Jacob Murphy and Chris Wood. Still looking for his first goal in Newcastle. Chris Wood, off that £25 million switch. Do you want to run through the Brighton lineup?
I will. Listen, code of caution. I will be butchering names, ladies and gentlemen. So be very aware for that. Be very aware. But listen, Sanchez starts in goal. Tarek Lamptey, obviously Cobham graduate. Shout out to him there. Cucurella, Dunk, Trossard, Gross, Morda, and Alzard. Welbeck, Duffy and Vlietman up front. So it's a strong Brighton team. They play some very good football under Potter. We know that. So I'm very much looking forward to this game. 2 very good teams at the moment. Good form for Newcastle. Good football played by Brighton. So it should be a good game. I will be reacting along that live as it happens. So interested to see how that one gets on. Big up everyone in the chat. We're getting called M&M here, me and you, Matty and Matisse. And Meeks as well, Triple M to be fair. Triple M. Elias says he loves Matty's accent. Thanks, mate. Glad you can understand it. Trying to slow it down for you lot down here. Next lineup, we'll jump into it. We'll jump into the next lineup. We'll start at the very top. Aston Villa at home to Southampton.
Martinez is in goal for Aston Villa. Matty Cash, Callum Chambers, Tyrone Mings and Ashley Young is the back four. In midfield, three of John McGinn, Douglas Luiz and Jacob Ramsey. Good, exciting young player, that Jacob Ramsey, isn't he? And then a very strong front three for Aston Villa. Fit and firing Coutinho, Ings and Watkins.
I brought Coutinho into my fantasy football team, so
Good idea.
I need something. Listen, that's why I got the Brazil top on.
Oh,
I got the Brazilian
okay.
magic for him today.
I thought Joe Linton, mate.
Oh yeah, no, he absolutely destroyed Man United in midfield. So we don't talk about Joe Linton.
I can see you having flashbacks right now, just
that
like thinking
was-
about everything that's happened.
He's made his midfield career based on that Man United performance, and granted, he's done well since. But that's the one that people say, "Damn, he ain't a striker. He's a £40 million midfielder."
I still
What
can't
a
get
good
used to
signing.
it. I still can't get used to it. He's wearing the number 7. He was up front, 40 minutes. Suddenly now he's in midfield playing this box to box role. I
It's
don't get it
crazy.
whatsoever.
It's crazy. I mean,
It's mad, mate. It's mad, the transformation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Southampton's team, Matisse.
Yeah, obviously Fraser Foster in goal, former Celtic goalkeeper there. Livramento on the right hand side as well. Sodrek, Stevens, and Parvarad at left back with. This is the tongue twister right here, isn't it? You already know Matty.
Which one going on? Oh, El Yunusi.
Oh, Yunusi. Romeo, again, another former Chelsea player. Ward-Prowse, that's the free kick master, of course. He's chasing the record there. Armstrong, Adams, and Broja. And he
Chelsea-
told everybody that his name has been pronounced wrong for so long.
Was it?
Yeah, people were saying Broja. It's actually Broja.
Broja.
Where's he from? Is he Portuguese or Spanish? Or
No, he's Albanian, isn't he?
Albanian, he is.
Oh.
A very, very good young player. Obviously scored in their last game, and of course, a Chelsea player. But for how much longer we'll have to see, because
How many
linked with
Chelsea
everybody.
boys are in this Premier League?
We sharing is caring me.
Because Livramento.
Yeah, Livramento, yeah.
He signed though, didn't he?
Yeah,
Fairly.
buyback option on him, but another Covent graduate.
have you?
You know, we sharing is caring. You know, we like to spread the love out, spread the talent around, let everybody eat. Do you know what I'm saying?
James Kipling says Wood's getting his first goal today. Let's bloody hope so. Long overdue.
Was he signed to school goals? Or was he
I
there to
think
hold the play?
He was saying to take away Burnley's number 9, I think.
Okay.
Trying to relegate Burnley, I think that was the option there. He won't be here much longer. He'll be swiftly replaced, Chelsea style.
100%.
If it's not working, see you later.
In a bit.
In a bit. Well, we'll get on to Chelsea now. Matisse away to Turf Moor today. I'll run through the Burnley side first. Nick Pope in goal. Conor Roberts, James Tarkowski, Nathan Collins replaces an injured Ben Mee, so that could be a bonus for you lot. Charlie Taylor at left back. Aaron Lennon, Ashley Westwood, Josh Brownhill and Dwight McNeil, with Jay Rodriguez and Big Wout Weghorst as the top two for Burnley there. We'll get into your thoughts.
Started good.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. It might have backfired for Newcastle, to be fair. They paid half the price of what we paid for Chris Wood. I'd rather have Weghorst, I think. But we'll see. Chelsea's lineup.
Mendy in goal. Back three, it seems, of Trevor, Chaloba, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger. On the left-hand side, we have Saul Niguez starting at left wing-back, which is a massive surprise to me because I wasn't expecting that at all. Of course, usually, we have Marcus Alonso or Malang Sarr out there, so it's going to be interesting to see the midfielder on the left wing-back position. Jorginho and Kante in the midfield, with Reece James to the right, back from injury, Mason Mount, Pulisic, and Kai Havertz up top. So, same front three that started against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, Lukaku dropped to the bench again, so... Statement. Big statement. Look at you, you're enjoying yourself, innit?
I'm not sure if I've blessed DR Sports with the phrase. I'm not sure if I have. Anyone who knows me, it wasn't my phrase. Big up my guy Ramsey from my channel. Small game Romelu. Small game.
He's not
Romelu.
even playing this game.
He's that small that he can't even play the small game. Listen, Romelu Lukaku. I don't have an agenda. I'm lying. I do have an agenda. Manchester United fans were corned to the end of the earth for letting him go, him succeeding in Italy, and when he came back to Chelsea, it was said he's going to prove that it was Man United's fault.
Yep.
He is the reason. So Man United are the only reason he looked bad. Nothing to do with him, and he's going to come and show that at Chelsea. He can show he's a world-class player. That's what a lot of Chelsea fans were saying, a lot of rivals were saying, and I'm sure he was saying it as well. We know how confident or overconfident he is. And Romelu Lukaku is the same guy that left Manchester United. Nothing different except he cost 100 million. That's the only difference. The price has gone up by 25 million. Romelu Lukaku, sit yourself on that bench.
Warm it up.
He's going to be good. Well, he should be good in the summer. He's not good enough for Chelsea. Good enough in Syria, league slower, maybe as a strike partner. But what Chelsea need, this guy, He's a letdown. I had
Right.
Chelsea challenging for the league this year, and I thought he was going to score some goals, especially in the small game. We know he doesn't score in the big games. But damn, he can't even start against Burnley, Matisse, man. He can't even start against-
It's bad.
At least he found his level during the week though against Luton Town.
Oh,
You
he
know what I
did.
mean? So
He
he
did.
looked good there.
Yeah, got a tap in. Wasn't even the greatest performance, but he got his tap in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Got the
So-
goal. That's all that matters. That is so surprising though, Lukaku, isn't it? Everyone was, well, not, a lot of people were tipping them to challenge that Premier League this season, weren't they? And
What?
didn't quite work out on that one, did it?
No, it didn't. And I'm disappointed because, of course, I want Man United to win the league. But I had Chelsea as one of the favourites to win it. And I don't want Liverpool and I don't want Man City. So if anyone has to win it has to be Chelsea.
Give it Chelsea.
Now you got Man City, Liverpool fighting, and Liverpool might get 20. Man City trying to claim to be the biggest club in Manchester. Like, I'm in the mud right now. I needed Chelsea to come through. And they haven't.
This is like
and I'm pissed.
Liverpool, Man City, who gets to take your wife out on a date? This guy or this guy?
Literally,
That's basically what this is. You
literally.
can't win. Do you know what I mean?
Literally. No, it's
Got a JO4 here, big up Matisse. If Chelsea lose today, they're dragged into the top 4 race. Is that third place still yours, you think?
Yes,
Still
I would
looking
like
good, isn't
to.
it?
I would
Still
like to
looking
say
good.
that the third place should be ours. We should be wrapping that up. But listen, he's right. If we do lose today, then we're into a little bit of a dogfight. So we need to win this game. I don't think it will be easy because I think Burnley will escape relegation. I predicted them to do so. But we do need to come here on a wet, windy. I haven't even got the weather forecast. I'm just making an assumption.
It's always wet,
Mate,
windy in
yeah,
Burnley.
If it's August bank holiday, it's wet, windy and Burnley. Do you think? No doubt about it.
Can I just say something on the top 4 race? It's similar to what I was saying about Leeds, and I think there's 3 worst teams in Leeds. Chelsea losing today, whilst on paper you'll say, okay, yeah, Arsenal, they win their games in hand, blah blah. I mean, the reason why Man United, Arsenal, West Ham, Wolves are all below Chelsea is because we can't win those games in hand. We don't win enough games. So I just think that the teams that are chasing Chelsea, even if they drop points today, we're just not good enough to win enough games in a row. And especially like Arsenal's games in hand are, I think one's against Chelsea.
Once against us, Liverpool and Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what? If they're going to win all 3? What, they're going to win the title now? Like, come on, let's be realistic, innit? So, I think, a few weeks ago, maybe mid-December, I was like, Chelsea might get dragged in the top 4 race. But looking at the way Man United's performed, and granted, Arsenal's performance has been good, but I can't see it. I can't see Chelsea. I think Chelsea have got third. Not secure, you have to win your games, but I can't see you lot falling outside.
I'd be
that
shocked if
personally.
they did. I'd be very
I can't
disappointed
see
as
it.
well because we've been in that top 4 battle for a number of years now. Battling.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd like to stay clear if we can. this time.
And to the other end of the table, towards the bottom of the Premier League, there's a massive, massive game at Carrow Road.
Yep.
If you look at how tight that bottom of the Premier League is, Norwich City at home to a team against Brentford who can't win a game. At all to save their life. It's been about 9 or 10 weeks now, isn't it, since the last won a game
They had
in
a
the
good start
Premier
to the
League.
season, but
Mental.
fallen off massively.
Falling off, yeah. We'll get into the lineups now, as it's an interesting one. But quickly, like I said, Norwich are on 17 points there. They are 5 points adrift at the foot of the table. So if they don't win today, it's looking like the nail in the coffin, isn't it? Whereas Brentford are in 15th, only 3 points above 18th place Burnley. So that bottom of the table could change drastically come 5 o'clock today. Norwich's team is Tim Krul is the number 1. Sam Byram, Grant Hanley, Ben Gibson and Brandon Williams is the defence. Matthias Norman sitting in front of that back 4 with a 4 behind the striker of Joshua Sargent, Billy Gilmore, Kenny McLean and Milo Rashica, who scored at Anfield the other week. And the front line is led by Timu Pukki once again. Now, let's have a look at Brentford's team, because the highlight is, will Christian Eriksen be starting? As you can see there, Matisse.
He does.
Yes, he does.
He does. I'm excited to see him. I really am, because listen, it's incredible that he's got back into football like this. To go to Brentford as well is you're in a relegation scrap, so you're not even taking the easy route in terms of maybe a more comfortable team and less pressure to ease yourself back in. You're going straight into a relegation fight where a lot of money is on the line for a team like Brentford. They famously like to say we're just a bus stop, in West London. They really need to stay in the Premier League. That money is vital for them. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. But Raya starts, of course, Ajer, Janssen, Pinnock, Kanos, Norgard, Janet, Eriksson, Henry, Mbueo and Tony. How many did I butcher there?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Ivan Toney starting again is huge as well. Tony
As long as you got Pinnock, my Jamaican brother, as long as you got that one right, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
So it's
There you go.
Brentford's best players are back there. Big Ivan Toney, he needs to get amongst the goals if they're going to stop the rot.
Yeah, huge for him, because listen, he's not had a great time obviously in the press there with Brentford. He had to put out a lot of apologies, so now he needs to kind of pay them back with some survival. Some goals would be very much welcome. Sometimes he's been on the bench for them as well in recent times. So maybe his time in the lineup is not so secure. He needs to score goals if he wants to stay in the Premier League.
This is the game. Like, you need some 3 points to pull away from the relegation zone.
Yeah.
You want to play Norwich. So they've got
true.
a huge opportunity here to put some distance, because Burnley's got a couple of games in hand. But as I said, to same with the top 4. You're down there because you can't win games. So games in hand mean nothing.
Nothing to you,
points on the
100%.
board. Get the
100%.
points on the board and you put yourself in a good position.
Yeah.
And make sure you are popping your predictions for this afternoon's games in the comments below. We will be writing ours down on the board soon and then revealing them at the end of the show. The last 3 o'clock kickoff to get through in the Premier League is Wolves versus Crystal Palace at Molineux. George Saw, one of the best keepers of the season.
Yes, very much so. Yeah,
he starts, of course he does, in number 1 in the net for Wolves. Kilman, Cody and Saiss is that reliable back 3, with Hova, Neves, Moutinho and Marçal in the 4 in the middle, with Pedence, Wang Hee-chan and Pedro Neto leading the front 3. So a strong Wolves side there, very strong Wolves side.
No Jimenez.
No Jimenez, no, he's on the bench. Sees the return of Hee-chan from injury, scored last week as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Prudence needs to get his output up. He's been looking good in recent weeks. Got man of the match against Leicester, but he needs to start putting some output in that attack, because Neto's just come back from injury. He's going to be under a lot of pressure if Prudence on the other side doesn't stand up.
It's good to see Neto back though, because that was a long-term injury. So
100%.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. And Palace's team,
for Palace, guitar in
Guaita,
sorry, in goal. Man just said guitar, like what? Clyde, Mark Gurhey, Anderson, Mitchell, Konate, Schlupp, Gallagher, Alicia. I haven't seen this guy. Mata up front?
Mateta
was up front.
Player,
what happened to, he's on the bench, the Celtic former striker. And Edouard, yeah, and Zaha on the left flank. So Eze on the bench again. It's a very nice Palace team in terms of footballing style under Vieira. It's a very nice team to watch. There's a lot of ballers on that pitch, South London effect, and I'm looking forward to seeing this game. This game here is very, very interesting to watch, because Wolves have been brilliant this season.
Defensively especially.
Yes,
defensively.
Yeah. A couple more Chelsea guys, didn't it? Mark Guehi.
And
Conor Gallagher.
And Gallagher, of course. Alicia actually came from Cobham as well, but we released him.
Oh, Alicia, is it?
Yeah, we released him.
I like him.
Yeah,
I like him.
He's a player,
He's saucy. Yeah. He's very... And in the media, he's very quiet,
Okay.
He's very quiet from what I've seen in interviews. He doesn't want to talk too much. I think they were giving his credit for the goal that he scored in the cup a few weeks ago, and he was like, nice goal, Alicia. Yeah, it's all right.
Good comment here from Cassie. Hope could talk and string a few passes together.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Cassie.
That's a good one. I like that. See, I set you up. That's how we work, chat. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Incredible. But yeah, that's a very interesting game there. And
you know what? At the start of the season, I had Palace going down. I'm not going to lie.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah, wow.
Because I thought the transition from Roy Hodgson football to what Vieira wants to play is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I get... They haven't been perfect this year. Of course they haven't. But I guess my mistake was the fact that Roy Hodgson was playing a type of football that maybe didn't suit the players that they had. And Vieira's been able to come in and kind of play to their strengths. Like you said, they got ballers there like Eze, Olise, Zaha, and Vieira's given them that platform and also that freedom to go and express themselves. So he's, I'm happy for him, Vieira, for one, and I'm happy I was wrong, because Palace is not necessarily a team I want to see go down. And I said they've got some good talented players there who I think, in the Premier League, like Conor Gallagher, I know he's going back to Chelsea, possibly.
Back on loan,
okay.
So he's on loan at Palace, so he'll be coming back in the summer. And hopefully there's some room for him. I've just seen a super chat. Big up for the support. He says, please, for real, for the love of God, Matisse, don't call teams. I did warn,
every week this is his job now.
I did warn the producers before the match. I will butcher these names. It's just I can't get these names out. Some of them. It's not easy for me.
Matisse comes like the school teachers taking the register.
Yeah, school teachers taking the register.
None of the names. It'll be Sam, Daniel. What's this one? It's like, come on, bro.
We are just a few minutes away from the 3 o'clocks kicking off. We'll have a quick look at the Championship now. The early kick-off has finished. Fulham 2, Blackburn 0, which sees Fulham 11 points clear at the top of the Championship.
Wow.
Unfair, aren't they?
Our noisy neighbours will be back. I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? We've got Brentford, Fulham. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to see. Next, I need Charlton and a few more London clubs, of course. There's not enough London clubs in the Premier League, in my opinion.
We can send
we need some more northern teams. Up the borough, get Middlesbrough up. Expressions, we love that. Middlesbrough away next year.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But some big games in the Championship. We will, of course, be keeping an eye on the Football League as well, so stay tuned for that. But what we're going to do now, gentlemen, is get our boards out and get our predictions on the boards for the Premier League 3 o'clock kickoffs.
Right, gentlemen, let's commence. Obviously, Wolves versus Palace. That's a tight one. So let's get your scores in for that.
And obviously, we won't reveal these until the end of the show, so pop yours in the comments as well, and then we'll come back at the end. And I think I'm looking for about 3 weeks in a row now to win these.
Is it?
Did you win last week?
Yeah.
Did you?
Won like 2-3 weeks in a row.
That's only because
Yet to get a prize.
It's only because you said yet to get a prize.
Yes, to get a prize. Winning for nothing.
I did win when you wasn't here. I just want to make that clear. When you wasn't here.
Oh, did you?
I did win. The first one I was on about a month ago.
I'd argue you lot have only won because I haven't been here. But thanks for having me again. Thanks for having me.
It's difficult to call some of these
First
games,
one, Wolves, Palace. All these games are so tight today, you know.
Newcastle versus Brighton for me is going to be a very, very close game.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to that.
Up the tune.
Yes, mate, that's the one.
You won't be saying that when they're challenging for Premier League titles. You'll be like,
Don't worry,
we'll
sick
of Newcastle.
Mate, we'll be fighting relegation by then. I won't have a dog in the fight.
The Uniteds will have switched by then.
They'll be singing. There's only one United.
Okay, let's go.
It's going to be an awful game, that one.
Burnley, Chelsea. Do I go with my head or my heart? We know what I want to happen.
Do you win? Do you want to win or not?
Okay,
sorted.
So
those are the predictions. Everybody got them in?
Not yet.
Mine's in, Matisse is in. Neeks is having a good think of it. He wants that no prize win.
Yeah, I need that
He
no
wants
prize
the moral
win.
victory. We're just a couple of minutes away now from the 3 o'clockers kicking off.
There we go.
That should be a good one.
See a few people there back in Palace 3-1, 1-0 Wolves.
There we go.
Wolves is difficult to call, I think.
Guys, this is the winning board. Trust me.
Because Wolves in front of goal are not the most clinical.
No,
they defend very well. Palace are just very up and down. They're very difficult to predict. They're in the mid-table now, isn't it? The Patrick Vieira.
Spoiler alert, I've gone with a Wolves clean sheet. Wow, that's all I've said.
Spoiler alert, drop them in there. Good to see here the scenes at St James Park where everyone's in applause and Ukraine flags are everywhere at St James Park here with big banners supporting Ukraine, which is great to see. Ahead of that game at home to Brighton, Matrix 484 predicts a 3-1 Newcastle win there. I do hope you're right, Matrix. I do hope you're right for that one.
I think I got Dubravka on my FPL team.
Oh, have you?
Because you got a double. You got 2 games this week, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got Southampton on Thursday night.
So
another tricky one. Another team that are
Southampton are an amazing run of form.
Doing pretty well. They are taking points off of Manchester United, I think, as well. Again,
they did.
So I'm going to sit back here and I'm going to let you discuss it. Do you think Newcastle will stay up? Then we'll talk about who do you think will go down.
Oh, 100% Newcastle will stay up now. They've got too much quality. I think Eddie Howe's doing a very good job. Mm-hmm. And you guys have literally, as soon as you've got that back in now in January, zoom straight up the table. If Trippier is obviously club captain when he's back, how long is he looking to be out for? What do you think?
The majority of the season. I think he's going to be back for the last 3-4 weeks. So
massive miss.
Maybe mid-April he'll be back.
Yeah, massive miss. Captain slapping in the free kicks for fun, but I still think he'll be fine. For me, it will be between the likes of Norwich. I think Norwich will go down. To be honest,
down. Especially if they don't win today.
Yeah, I think Watford will go down, and then I think it'll be between Brentford and Leeds, whichever one of those two. No, I think Burnley will get out. I really do. I think Sean Dyche has got a good record for it. You know, he's obviously got experience. They know how to stop leaking goals and just park the bus, go 4-4-2, lump it, slump it. Do you know what I'm saying? So
lump it, slump it.
that's how it will go, I think.
It's funny because a lot of people want Burnley to go down and have wanted Burnley to go down for years because of the way they play. But for me, what makes the Premier League brilliant is the fact that we have this variety of teams.
Yeah,
that
true.
Some play one way, even at the top. Your Man City, Liverpool, they're both attacking, but they don't play the same type of football. Chelsea are also up there, do not play the same type of football. And then you go down, you got Norwich who want to pass it around and they're bottom of the table. And then you got Burnley who are like, no, we're here to get results. And they've been in the Premier League year in, year out. So for me, I would like a team like Burnley to remain in the Premier League. Just to, Chelsea go...
Give you a bit of variety.
Exactly. Chelsea go away to Burnley today. As a rival fan, you're like, Burnley can do something. If Chelsea go to Norwich, I'm not watching the game because Chelsea are winning that game 4 or 5-0. You need something different, whether it's Stoke, whether it's Burnley. Back in the day, you had the Boltons and the Blackburns under Sam Allardyce and Mark Hughes. So, no, I think I would like Burnley to stay up, and I think they would. Newcastle, I think once you had that January, and then you got a few results together. 8 games unbeaten in a relegation fight. That is, you don't go down on that kind of form. Yeah. You don't go down that kind of form. So, and I probably expect it to continue today as well.
Now, the Don himself, Robbie, will be joining us in the studio very soon. He did a video on the game day preview show about is Eddie Howe the real deal? Check it out.
Big up Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't see him getting enough credit for their revival. You know what I mean? He's gone in there, he's turned it around, he's got them playing a different style of football. And even with Trippier out last week, they still got the win. And I think they'll get, I see that stat you're saying, they've never beaten Brighton, but I think that's going to turn around this week. Going to St James's Park right now with all their fans buzzing,
place to go.
knowing that money's coming in, and it's great times for a Newcastle. You think of it, if you're a Newcastle fan, hearing that news about Abramovich as well, that all his money's going to be out of the picture now. They could be the new kings on the block in the future when it comes to spending. But
a lot of admiration there for Eddie Howe from Don Robbie. What do we make of that? Because as a Newcastle fan, obviously delighted with the job he's done since coming in. I think he does deserve big credit because everyone's just pointing towards, he spent 90 million in the transfer window. Half of that was on one player who hasn't even played yet, Bruno Guimaraes. So he's transformed Joe Linton from a flopped striker to a midfield enforcer. He's done so much more. He's brought Joe Willock back to form, Ryan Fraser in form, and he's just completely lifted the squad in terms of team spirit and stuff. But as outsiders, Neeks, start with you. What have you made of Eddie Howe?
I'm happy for Eddie Howe. I think, sometimes you get these flavour of the months. And, when he was doing well with Bournemouth, he was like, potentially he can go to a higher club. And Bournemouth go down, he goes out of the loop, everyone talks about Graham Potter. That was with Brendan Rodgers when Brendan Rodgers was at Swansea.
Yes.
And then he was, talk of the town. And now it's like, now we want, who's the new flavour of the month. So I'm happy that, let's say, the footballing world hasn't forgot about Eddie Howe. Yeah. And he's been given the opportunity. This role it's going to be so important for Newcastle's development. The first person to come in to kind of get them into the discussion.
The Mark Hughes of Man City.
Yeah, the Mark Hughes of Man City. They want to just get them in the discussion before you go to... He's not going to be the one who's going to win in the Premier League. But, because you're not going to be here for maybe 10 years, what it might take in Newcastle. But getting them, talking about challenging for European football, playing good football, which we know that he does, I think is so important. And the recruitment is going to be so important. You mentioned a couple already, but Bruno hasn't even started, and Trippier is now injured. Yeah. So he's having to work with kind of what he's been given or what he's got when he joined the club, other than maybe like a Chris Wood. And I think he's showed that, he's got the quality to get the best out of players, and he's doing that so far.
It's not even like Chris Wood has been pulling up any trees, he's missed a few big opportunities.
He is the tree.
He is the tree.
Dead tree. Chris Deadwood. Chris Deadwood.
He will be in the summer when you guys go again in the market, I'm telling you.
I'm saying that, Chris, all will be forgiven if you score today.
I don't even know if he's even going to have a squad number. I'm telling you, like, a lot of these players that have come in, I'm sure, Bruno Guimaraes will be fine. But some of the players, when the summer comes around, it seems like you guys are going to have a serious overhaul. I don't see you taking any time with that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Newcastle have got in store. And like I said off air, one rich club to another. We used to be rich, now it's your turn. Do you know what I'm saying?
We'll maybe come to that later with the ownership issues.
I tell you, he's been a good sign. I think he's going to be here for a few years. I think you mentioned at the top...
Dan Burn,
I was going to say Brunt. That's West Brom. Dan Burn, because he's not the flashy one, a bit, but he knows how to play the Premier League. And at the back, you don't want to be signing someone at the back in the centre of the defence who has to learn the Premier League with 6 months to go in a relegation battle. Yep. No, you go and get a proven Premier League defender who can play football in terms of the way that Brighton play. Yep. And I think he's come in and he has steadied that defence already. And at in the relegation battle, if you can keep clean sheets or reduce the amount of goals you're scoring, you're halfway to actually coming out of it. And I think that sign is so important. Him being a Newcastle fan means that he's going to be around. He's not going to be unsettled. If a better defender comes in a couple of years or so and he's having to rotate or fight for his position, he's not going to be kicking up and handing transfer requests, because at this point, he's just happy to be
Shouldn't be like a fan watching, isn't he?
Exactly. So I think he's going to be so important for Newcastle's development, especially this season.
I think you're right. I mean, there were astute signings by Newcastle. I mean, like you said, bringing in Dan Burn, who's Premier League experience, relegation battling experience with Brighton as well. Really, they're always finishing about 16th. They were trying for like the likes of Diego Carlos from Sevilla for £30 million.
Yeah.
That's something they might look to again in the summer. But again, that's a risk when you're in a relegation battle. You need someone to come in rare and ready to go, and we did that with Bain and even Matty Target, from Villa.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, of course, I forgot.
100%. These are guys that know what they're doing in the Premier League. You don't have time to acclimatise, to adapt when you're literally coming in January and you're needed now for an instant impact. So I think it's interesting. I'm just very interested to see who stays. I mean, a lot of these players, of course, they're playing for Newcastle now, but they all know that their squad position has never been under threat more. Look at Lascelles, he was captain. He's playing week in, week out. Now he can't find himself in the team too often. So, and that's the captain. So it's going to be incredible to see the change of the squad over the next couple of years.
It's going to be a busy summer.
And what you'll see from this, especially if they do stay up, the players who were willing to fight for their position and up their levels to those who weren't. We've got an issue at Man United. There's certain players we've had, competition comes in. I'm not going to name no names, but competition comes in and they're...
Ain't got time to name the names.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me just whip out my scroll. Hold on a second.
It's only a 90-minute match. We ain't got enough time for that. But yeah, and their performances actually drop because of the fact there's competition, and you got others whose performances rise. And I think Eddie Howe's going to see that. Which players are actually worth keeping in the summer, even if they haven't got the greatest ability, who's worth keeping going forward, because they're going to show the fight for Newcastle. I think this period is between now and the end of the season is massive for him. But yeah, well done to Eddie Howe, man. Well done.
Yeah, man, big up Eddie Howe. And just quickly on the super chat, there was a super chat before, so thanks for your support. Asking about Big Steve on the Big Six. Now, we're not going to be able to address any of those questions. It's not our place. Do you mean that kind of information will be on their channel, on the Big Six channel? So
yeah,
we'll look out for that one.
We'll put that out tomorrow on tomorrow's show on Monday. So yeah, that's on Monday's show. Yeah, so a couple of days time.
Yeah, and Hakes is asking where's AGT. He's at Anfield. That's where he is, I'd imagine. Oh, is it West Ham? Is it West Ham? Liverpool today. He's covering the Liverpool game at 5:30 against West Ham, so that's why he's not here today. But AGT, I'm sure, will be back next week.
AJ Tracy.
That's the one. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. To say, first goal of the Premier League in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Matisse, who's it gone to?
Ollie Watkins has scored for Aston Villa, 1-0 at Villa Park. Steven Gerrard's men have taken the lead against Southampton. Big game for them, of course. And Ollie Watkins, obviously, in that fight with Danny Ings, sometimes alongside him, sometimes alone, up top there, gets the goal inside the first 10 minutes. And big goal at Villa Park there. Two very evenly matched teams. Southampton, we were just saying earlier on, in some good reign of form. And it looks like it's going to be a good game at Villa Park. There's a lot of goal scorers on that pitch. We were speaking about it before. That Villa team is stacked with quality.
Yeah,
Coutinho, McGinn, so many good players in that Villa team. So really good start for Villa. First goal of the day.
And Southampton playing with bundles of confidence at the minute, so they'll fancy the chances of getting back into that one.
But I'll tell you what, because Gerrard started very well. A lot of hype around him, and rightly so, because he's done well at Rangers. Last few games, other than I think he played Brighton, they won recently, but they went about 3 or 4 games without a win. And people were saying maybe it was a new manager bounce, etc. Whether Coutinho, how James Rodriguez started at Everton, he started on fire and maybe he's fallen off. Again, this period alone is massive for Gerrard, because you can win a few games and everything's flying, but when the chips are down, can you come back from it? And they won the last game against Brighton. Getting a victory here, obviously, is very early, but if they can get a victory here against a good Southampton side, I think that's massive. I think that's massive. So it's a good start. Ollie Watkins don't score many goals. I know that because I had him in my fantasy football team and I had to take him out because he don't score many goals. But he scored today, innit? So well done.
And we're nearly 10 minutes into the game at Turf Moor. Matisse, it's still 0-0 between Burnley and your boys Chelsea.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough day. I think it's going to be a tough day. Burnley, like I said, are scrapping for survival. Really, at this point in the season, you don't want to play these relegation-threatened teams. You'd rather play the mid-table teams, the ones that maybe their concentration might be on the beach, as the phrase is always said. So when you're playing against a relegation candidate, especially away from home, you're in for a tough day if they're serious about getting out of trouble. So it's going to be a long day, and hopefully a player can take a shot from outside the box. R1, do you know what I'm saying? A little bit of curl, the wind in Turf.
Get it!
Oh, it's a goal! Come on, it's a goal.
Yes!
It's a goal! Who's it for, Matty?
It's for Ryan Fraser at the Magpies. Of course it is, baby. The best team in the league right now. 8 games unbeaten. Yeah? 8 games unbeaten. Relegation what? Relegation who? I haven't got time for no relegation, man. I haven't got time for this. I haven't got time, mate. Do you know what I mean? 1-0 Newcastle. Ryan Fraser. A revolutionised Ryan Fraser under Eddie Howe. Obviously he had him at Bournemouth, didn't he? Eddie Howe, and that was his best form for them. Wee man, as he's called.
Yep.
And he scored last week. He scored again this week. Ryan Fraser putting Newcastle 1-0 up there. The game, I'll be able to see the goal in a minute or so's time, let you know what happened. But what a great start that is for Newcastle.
Yeah. Listen, Eddie Howe had that. They had that combination. It was Fraser and Wilson at Bournemouth.
Wilson. Yeah, Callum Wilson. Wilson. Josh King as well.
Josh King,
do you remember?
Yeah. And obviously Wilson's injured at the moment, but Ryan Fraser, even without him, he's been revived. I forgot about him.
Where's Josh King actually?
He's at Watford.
We just get the whole band back together. We need to get the whole band back together. Do you know what I'm saying? Get everybody from Bournemouth back in this team.
It was a counter-attack, and it was, oh, look at that.
Wonderful.
It was actually a rebound off the post for Ryan Fraser. It was a counter-attack for Newcastle, which saw Jacob Murphy one-on-one, and he dinked it over the keeper, bounced off the post. Ryan Fraser was there for the tackling as St James's Park erupts there. 52,000 Geordies, nearing ever closer to safety in the Premier League.
I almost
7
shouted,
points clear as it stands.
I almost shouted Alan Matty. You know what I'm saying? just to give it that extra sauce when I was shouting for your response there on the goal. But yeah, listen,
Love it.
Newcastle are flying right now. You know, maybe they can even hit for a nice, comfortable mid-table position. You never know if they keep this going.
I mean, 8 games unbeaten now. 6 of those or so wins. Chris Wood actually does well. Yeah, what people are seeing in the comments as well.
But that's what I said to you. Is he here to score goals?
No.
Because I haven't seen him do that. But I've seen him do that. I've seen him get the ball, hold it up, and bring others into play. That's a good turn and through ball from Chris Wood.
I'm not gonna lie, you still get Weghorst doing that for half the price.
No, you can.
I'm not going to stop with that until the end of the season.
Nothing like an overpriced Premier League player.
Oh, especially when he's English as well.
Exactly.
100% that tax.
A good little dink.
Wonderful.
Unfortunately.
Well, listen, I'm happy for the Geordies. We were just saying it as well. You know, imagine in a couple of years' time they'll be going away in Europe. You know what I mean? Traveling well, going away to the new camp and whatnot.
He ain't gonna have time for us here at the
Listen, it will go to a live feed and it'll be Matty at the new camp. Come on, there. You know what I mean? That's what it will be.
That's the dream. That's the dream right there.
I mean, that's how it used to be. I said you had the likes of Patrick Kluivert and Lauren Robert and Kieran Dyer. He was express.
Kieran Dyer, yes.
You lot had some top players under.
I remember even the French Revolution as well. You know.
Oh my God! It's 2-0 Newcastle apparently.
Oh my!
That's what's popped up there. I'm yet to see it.
Jesus Christ!
But if it's 2-0, I'll take that.
Second goal. I hope it's not a mistake.
Not giving anything away, but. My prediction on the board is looking very good.
Oh, is it now, yeah? Is it?
Very good. It is 2-0, according to everyone in the chat as well. Oh, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
Someone said Kiwi done, it's popped up Fabian Shaw.
Yeah.
Fabian Shaw, the Swiss centre-back for Newcastle.
2 in 2 minutes.
Wow.
2-0 up in 14 minutes there at St James's Park, Newcastle against Brighton. Dreamland settings.
Incredible.
So really, it was all Mike Ashley's fault.
He was as bad as I told you he was.
Just to summarise.
Who'd have thought it?
Listen, you take those Sports Direct, logos all off that stadium. You shine it up. You know, give it a little polish. Shine your shoes back in on Monday, and next thing you know, you're getting straight A's. That's what this is. That's what this is. You know,
this was a free kick whipped in.
Ooh, lovely.
That was Chris Wood, wasn't it?
No, that was.
It was Fabian Shaw.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Brilliant header. Brilliant header.
Fantastic header by Fabian Shaw.
Keeper might be a little bit disappointed to. Kind of was at the near post that header. He got a good hand on it as well.
He did, yeah. But too powerful for him at the near post, and it goes past. And the Geordies, you know, in that stadium, they're going nuts, and it would be great for that city as well. You know, this is what's so key. It's not just about the team on the pitch. Any club that's been taken over by rich owners, the community around tends to thrive as well. You know, more opportunities, improving the area, etc. So
sorry, I can't relate.
Sorry, I can't relate. The roof is still leaking.
Exactly.
Now the new owners have said they want to invest in, you know, hospitals, schools, and everything like Man City's owners did. So
that's good.
Great to see. People in the chat there calling calling Chris Wood the Kiwi Giroud.
The Kiwi Giroud. I mean,
Great stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, Giroud was a top player.
Giroud scores overhead kicks. I've never seen Chris Wood score.
I don't see any scorpion kicks coming from Chris Wood anytime soon.
No,
But
hopefully
Chris
this
Wood
off.
I think he's got like double-figure goals
does, yeah.
in all consecutive
is.
seasons
Apart
in
from
the
this
Premier
one.
League. Yeah, apart from this one.
I think he's got 3 so far.
Yeah.
That's why Burnley are struggling, isn't it? Because this is the one season decided not to score.
100%.
That's listen, I'm calling it from now. Listen, this game's over. Newcastle won this.
Yeah, I hope so. Eh?
Newcastle won this.
If we look at the live Premier League table right now, with Newcastle winning 2-0, Aston Villa winning 1-0, everyone else 0-0 as it stands across the 3 o'clocks in the Premier League. Newcastle still sitting in 14th, but they are 6 points above the relegation zone. And as it stands, Everton have dropped into the bottom 3 with Burnley drawn at Chelsea.
Incredible, Frank
You know
Lampard.
what? We didn't even mention Everton. We were talking about the relegation.
We didn't.
Let's mention them. Bring them up.
Because it's a sixth sense to just not even think
Yeah.
of, you
Yeah.
wouldn't.
'Cause
They've
they
never been
shouldn't-
relegated before in their history. To think of Everton in a relegation battle just seems absurd. It really does, especially with the money that they've got
Yeah.
and that they've pumped into that club. It just seems absurd, but they are in there. And they're under pressure, and you can have as many quality players as you had. We've seen big clubs before with big fan bases go down. And to be honest, I wouldn't really mind, because I just think it spice things up, wouldn't it? The only team not to be
That's your
relegated.
boy. That's your boy Lampard.
It is my boy. It is my boy. Yeah.
Super Frank.
Listen, these Chelsea fans are harsh.
Ruthless. They
learned that from their owner.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I do want him to do well, but at the same time, we do struggle at Goodison Park every single year, Chelsea. So I wouldn't mind them going down and someone else come up, maybe like a Fulham. They're a little bit more charitable with the fixtures. When they play us. So if it helps us get 3 extra points, then I'm here for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Ruthless.
It would be a big headline that they wouldn't have Everton have went down, considering they've spent $500 million in recent years.
Listen, just looking at Everton's, the next few fixtures. So they've got Spurs away, Wolves at home, West Ham away, Man United at home.
Whoa.
That's their
my
next
God.
4 Premier League fixtures.
They're in the mud for me.
They are in trouble.
Super
Yeah, they
Frank
are in
under
trouble.
pressure. He's got
They
a
are
lot to
in
do.
trouble. And then it's Palace at home, Liverpool away, Chelsea home, Leicester away. Then they got Brentford and then Arsenal last day.
I think
That's a very tough
I
running.
think it'll honestly be Everton or Brentford. I think Burnley don't go down with
my
Sean Dyche.
goodness.
I don't think Burnley go down with Sean
Leeds will
Dyche.
stay
I
up.
think Norwich and Watford will go down. And Leeds is a good point because it all depends on this new manager bounce, doesn't it? He looked decent today. They obviously looked a bit more resilient in defence. But there's another goal though. Who's it gone to in the Premier League?
Crystal Palace with the goal 1-0 up, and it is
Matisse's boy Mateta.
Mateta, you know what I'm saying, with the goal starting ahead of Edouard up top for Crystal Palace away from home to Wolves. We just spoke about. You just said
I had a clean
Wolves
sheet.
You
Gone.
spoiler.
It's finished. Just spoiled my predictions.
It is finished. They do not have the facilities for that today. It would seem Wolves 1-0 down at home to Crystal Palace, and that will be a dent in their European hopes for Wolves. They are in that conversation for at least the Conference League.
Yeah.
And they are
Yeah.
floating around the European
Been
places.
slipping
as
the
well.
last couple of weeks, haven't they?
Yeah, so if they do go and lose that game at home to Crystal Palace, then that will obviously be a massive dent. But great for Patrick Vieira's men. They're in mid-table. One of the teams that could have been on the beach, but they're clearly not. They're in Wolves and they're winning.
Damn.
Yeah,
Listen,
bring-
Wolves don't concede many goals.
No, they don't.
I had them, like when Arsenal beat them at the Molineux, that surprised
Big
me.
result.
That surprised me. Then they went to Arsenal and lost again.
Yeah.
If
But,
they-
but Wolves have been taking points off they took points off us. I'll
Yeah.
speak for us.
They beat us.
Yeah, and they held Liverpool to a last-minute winner, and,
Yeah.
and Man City, I think they had 10 minutes at the Etihad, and it was still only 1-0. So their record against the big clubs in terms of competitiveness, they're very
So
competitive.
if Palace
against the
get
big
something
teams.
here, bloody hell.
There's been
That's something for the books, I tell you.
There's been a goal in the Championship. Hull City 0, West Brom 1. Grant with the goal on 17 minutes there. That's the update in the Championship.
Steve Bruce looking for his first win in charge of the Baggies. He took over and they were 6th in the Championship and now the 13th.
Oh, is it?
6 games.
You're a Newcastle fan, so you're about to give us a whole monologue on Steve Bruce and
Yeah,
how
awful.
much you don't like him.
Awful,
Something
man.
about the stripes. I don't think it works.
But listen,
He's a legend in your eyes, isn't he, as a player?
He's a former Sunderland manager as well.
Yeah.
You need to stop hiring your ops. I've said this
I know.
before. You know, you guys need to be
Bruce is
careful.
up with everyone though. He went to
Yeah.
both Sheffield teams. He's been to Birmingham, West Brom, Villa. He's been all over.
I
He's
think
a horrible
the only
man.
club in the Midlands he ain't been with is Wolves, I think.
I think so.
He
Aye.
just needs to get Wolves, and he's got the Midlands taken
Yeah,
care of.
exactly.
We've got the North East. He's doing well for himself. He knows he's covering the ground. Do you know when you get that little thing in if you're in a couple and you get that little world globe map and you just hit the countries that you've been to. He's just hitting the towns in England. He's just got that densely populated area done. That one done. That's what he's on. So,
But Brucey was in his press conference the other night after they got beat off Swansea. And he was blaming the football.
Yes, I saw that one.
He was saying all these fans expect to be at the top of the Premier League. I mean, Championship. He said that was his words. He confused them with the Premier League and then the Championship. He used to do the same with us. Blames everybody but himself. Kind of stands Steve Bruce, man. Absolute.
but
dinosaur.
he's one of those players. He's one of those managers. Sorry, that are kind of coming towards the end of their time in the top part of English football. Your
definitely.
Tony Pulis's, your Steve Bruce's, these kind of guys. The football's moving on from their type of style now.
Yeah.
Unless you're obviously at Burnley or Stoke, there's a couple of clubs that you can still throw your hat into. I'm sure, but not many.
And the FA Cup quarter-finalists to come, Middlesbrough have scored a penalty. Paddy McNair's given them the lead at home to Luton in the Championship. Could see them in the Premier League next year, couldn't you? I think Borough are sitting about 5th or 6th, obviously beating Spurs the other night, beat Man United as well in the Cup before that.
Yeah, Middlesbrough.
Great handball in that Man United game.
Yeah, it was good. It was.
Middlesbrough in 6th, yeah. And do you know the playoffs in the Championship is always interesting to look
I
at.
love the playoffs. It's
Derby
good,
were back to back, obviously under Lampard and prior to that as well. Now they're under Wayne Rooney and struggling in 23rd in the Championship.
I don't like the way he said that.
Yeah, listen,
Because Derby has just
bro,
scored.
listen.
My guy, Ravel Morrison, ex-Manchester United.
Derby.
Respect Wayne Rooney. Thank you very much.
As soon as I say that, the former Manchester United legend and his, the former Manchester United player, Ravel Morrison, they both combine, obviously, joint forces to battle against me and go and get the first goal for
kind of
Derby.
the way like
As
that.
I was on my slander train.
Under Wayne Rooney. No, Wayne Rooney is the reason why they even got a chance of staying up.
I know what I'm doing.
Like a 20 point. I know you know what you're doing. I know you know what you're doing. But no, Wayne Rooney's doing a great job because
His post-match interview was good the other night as well.
didn't see
Wayne
that
Rooney's, it was class. He was just hammering the officials, saying there's an agenda against it and everything.
Yeah.
Passionate though, Wayne Rooney. I like to see it.
he turned down Everton because
did?
they wanted to interview him and spoke to him.
They
about
must know they're
job.
going down, so he can't be bothered. I've already got a championship job. Thank
He
you very much.
said, "I'll meet you next year in the championship."
Ravel Morrison as well. He's been around the block, hasn't he?
He has.
He's so talented.
Meant to be
He's
the
got
next big
he had a
thing
lot of
back in the
talent.
day.
So
did.
much talent, but you got to have that consistency. One team in the playoffs that I'm excited that I'm looking at is Blackburn. Haven't seen them in the Premier League for a long
Yeah.
time, obviously,
Yeah.
but since the Roque Santa Cruz, Benny McCarthy days.
Gans Pedersen.
David Bentley,
Yeah.
two guy,
Yeah.
Samba, Brad Friedel,
Oh,
that was the
come
team
on,
there.
that was
Brad Friedel, aye.
So yeah, I'd love to see Blackburn back up. To be honest, I don't know why. I just miss
It's
him.
just that match of the day.
Yeah,
Match
it
the
gives
day
me
in
the
it, back in
vibes
the
of
day.
Premier League years.
Just
The
nostalgia.
Yeah, the nostalgia is right there. Yeah,
Premier League
100%.
royalty.
Oh my goodness, Portsmouth, serious foul play there. Is that a red card? Is
Yeah,
it?
red card at Fratton Park.
Portsmouth, it's all gone downhill for Portsmouth
really
since
has.
they won the FA Cup, innit?
A lot of fans we speak to, they say, would you take the trophy or would you take staying up, or what would? And a lot of people say the trophy, but when you reflect upon it, Portsmouth
Long
all the way
term, not a good idea, is it?
long term now, League One, they're a long way away from Premier League football. Was that FA Cup worth it? Would you say, Matty?
Probably on the day for them, but not now. Do you know what I mean? They had a great few days of celebrating it and big day in their history. But like you say, if you get stuck down there,
Yeah.
difficult to come back.
They had some. Remember they
Difficult to
played
come
AC Milan in the UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was
Ronaldinho. Yeah.
Gattuso and Joe Jordan fighting each other now, and then Joe
Oh,
Jordan
yeah,
was
on the
scrapping with the
touchline,
players and that.
Some images you'll never get.
Never see that again. Never see that again.
Ronaldinho against, I don't know, Jamie O'Hara or something in midfield. It's ridiculous. It's an absolute madness. But they had a very good team back there. Cranshaw, Defoe, Peter Crouch. Harry Redknapp was obviously there as well. Canu, yeah.
Canu, because he scored in the cup final, didn't he?
Yeah.
Really,
and I
really
think
good
the
team.
semi against was it Cardiff and West Brom?
And that was another FA Cup final because we had them in the FA Cup final. We beat them.
2009.
Yeah, so they
That's
got
the season
to,
they went down.
They got to a couple FA Cup finals,
Yeah,
I
two in
think.
a row.
Yeah, got to a couple.
I remember it was 2-0. You lot beat them, I think.
I think so.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah.
We also had Everton as well. Yeah, did them over as well.
2-1.
Back in the good days where we used to win
Wasn't
those
that
domestic cups.
where
Frank Lampard off the post.
Saha scored in like 14 seconds.
Yes,
or something like that.
Zaha, yeah. Literally right at the beginning of the game, past Petr Cech. I was fuming.
I was hopeful at that point, and then it all went.
I have the question. Who do you think is the most underrated manager in the Premier League right now? Because we're speaking about Hasselholt, Eddie Howe, we're speaking about Potter. There's so many contenders. Who would you say, Matty?
There is a round table talk, so check that out later on if you haven't already. But that we went through the underrated Premier League 11 and chose the manager at the end of it. Ralph Hasenhüttl did get my vote, but there was quite a few up for grabs. Robbie went for David Moyes.
Okay. That's a shout. It's a shout. Because West Ham were on the fringes of battling against relegation. Now suddenly they're in
I think he's underrated,
but he's also at his level.
But I would say the younger generation, because they didn't see him at Everton.
Yeah.
Because if you watch him at Everton, obviously he failed at Man United, but it's like you know what a manager he was, and I think it's just been a case of him kind of showing that again. It's hard, underrated. I mean, do we talk? Is it? Who's the Wolves manager? Lage?
Yeah, Bruno Lage.
Good shout.
That's who Tobes went for, actually.
Okay.
Very good shout.
Possibly him.
There's people in the comments here, plenty of people getting their opinions in there. Bruno Lage, Mikel Arteta gets a few shouts.
Interesting.
Stevie G.
I would never give him credit.
The most underrated manager, though? I don't know.
Defo Hasenhüttl.
Arsenal fans are talking about Arteta being the next.
Well, they just wanted him sacked a couple months ago. So now he's the most underrated. So I don't know how to rate him personally after what's going on. It's a bit up and down. It's very confusing.
There's a great clip from that round table talk show where we discussed Joe Linton and Oliver Skip and who would be the better midfielder for Tottenham. Check it out.
Would you not have him in your midfield?
No, I wouldn't have him in my midfield.
Joe Linton.
Would you
not?
not?
Who's better? Who in your midfield's been better than him this season?
What do you mean? Oliver Skip.
Oliver Skip
has been way has been consistent.
Seriously, man.
What are you talking about, Joe?
This season.
Wait. Can I ask you a question?
I can't
co-sign that. Can I ask you a question? So what do you think? What do you think Joe Linton will in midfield?
Everything you need, bro.
So give me.
Do you know that Joe Linton's got more interceptions and tackles than the likes of Fabinho this season?
His running power, his
mad.
Stamina, his energy levels, his aggression,
his physicality.
He's still
literally
got
what you're missing, bro.
well.
Like he's a midfielder that lets other teams know we're gonna get roughed up today.
I'm all for giving players.
I'm all for giving players skill level as well.
I'm all for giving players their props, yeah, but I don't know, man.
Do you know what?
Pass the pen, Robbie. I'll put it in.
I'll put him in.
So let us know in the comments what you make of that. Then would Joe Linton walk into Spurs' midfield? Matisse, what do you reckon? Chelsea fan, Joe Linton, Oliver Skip. Let's hear it.
I'd go Joe Linton right now. Of
course you would.
Because not only am I sitting next to Matty, but also, also he's just providing more. You know, for me, I need players that are going to make some sort of impact. You need to do something to stand out from the crowd. I don't think Skip does that for me. I think he's a young player, he's got potential, but he doesn't really stand out in any certain asset in certain particular part of the game. Whereas Joe Linton right now has turned himself into a box-to-box powerhouse midfielder. It's ridiculous in that number 7 show. You're going to have to strip him of that and give him something like 15 or something. But I think, listen, Tottenham's midfield right now is on the floor. You know, Højbjerg's not having a good season. Skip is obviously still young, so I won't judge him too harshly. You know, Ndombele's gone, Celso. All these guys have been, busts for Tottenham. So I think anybody walks into their midfield. Bruno Gomes on your bench walks into their midfield, no problem. So it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and there is a vote. There is a vote now. So make sure you choose the vote in the live chat there. Joe Linton or Skip.
That's hot.
What are you saying? He's got his Joe Linton on top on there, man. J7 on the back.
Yeah. You know what? I like Skip. If it was like Joe Linton or Winks, I can easily pick Joe Linton. But Skip he's a talent. Okay, if both were on the market tomorrow, I'm buying Skip, but just purely because of the age and the ability, the potential of him. But if you're talking about right now, you had a game to play right now, who you put in the midfield? I mean, that has to be Joe Linton, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has to be the striker in midfield. It's crazy. I don't know how that's happened. I'm trying to think. What other strikers have we seen? Alan Smith.
Alan Smith. Yeah, we signed him from you. We signed him from Man United, didn't he?
As a midfielder. We put him in midfield, didn't we? Yeah, we bought him from Leeds as a striker and put him into midfield.
Yeah. Wayne Rooney really did become almost a midfielder as well towards the very end. He dropped obviously from striker to cam when Berbatov was there, and he obviously started facilitating for Van Persie, and then he drops into midfield, and that didn't really work out, but he did play that role. Any other players that played in striker and moved to midfield? Scholes played really high up as like a second striker, didn't he?
Yes,
He wasn't
for a few
striker.
seasons. For a few seasons. I remember we beat Newcastle 6-1 St James Park one time. He was playing as a number 10 behind
I
Van
remember that.
Nistelrooy.
She was class.
I think you lot took the lead as well.
Yeah, we did. Jenas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God.
But let us know in the comments any other strikers that have been reborn into midfielders, into centre midfielders. You're not allowed to cheat and go with attacking midfielders. You want centre midfielders. Because attacking midfielder is too easy, I'm afraid.
Some
people say Timo Werner. He was a striker, Matisse, and then now he's a second striker. don't run that banter with me, please.
I mean, I would question if he was ever a striker. That's just me.
He is in Germany, overseas, not here though. Not here.
Who's Chelsea's front three today? Actually?
Front three is Pulisic, Mason Mount, and Kai Havertz. So the fluid front three, as we will call them.
The offside front three.
That's when Werner's playing and Lukaku. Yeah. Counter-attack.
They actually looked good though when they came off the bench, to be honest with you. I thought they looked alright when they came off the bench.
Yeah, against Liverpool they did. I was at the game last weekend and gut-wrenching. It was the most emotionally draining.
It must be. All those goals celebrating.
Bro, I'm celebrating when Liverpool's goals disallowed. Obviously, you know, the goal that was disallowed for them. 3 goals for us disallowed. Then the penalty shootout. The misses.
Big goal at Carroll Road. And it is Brentford.
It's gone to Brentford, you're right.
As expected.
1-0 to Brentford away from home to Norwich. And if, like you said, if Norwich don't pick up a win here, you may as well just send them down.
Yeah.
Send them down. Big goal for Brentford, though. Huge goal.
That bottom place looks to be truly solidified by Norwich City now if that game finishes as it stands. Because if they kind of get a win, today... That's it for them, isn't it? They'll be 4 or 5 points adrift. And if you want to win, you're playing Brentford, who haven't won in about 8, 9, 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And if you kind of get that at home, you're at home to Brentford,
it doesn't get much
really struggling.
Much better than that for them.
So yeah, it looks bleak for Norwich. It does look bleak for the Canaries.
Ivan Toney, as we said, he needs to go.
We said if Brentford were going to stay up, if Brentford were going to start putting them relegation fears to bed, he would have to start scoring goals.
And he has.
He's done it.
He's the one with the goal on 32 minutes there. For Norwich, I think they're one of those teams though that are equipped for relegation. Yep. You know, sometimes you look at a team, you look at a squad, you think, you'll give it a good go in Championship, won't you?
If Newcastle went down, I'll be worried about them coming back up.
Really?
I would be.
With their backing?
Even with their backing, because you can't just spend your way out of the Championship, I don't think. I think
Wolves did that, didn't they? When they brought in like half
but it's all about the recruitment. It's getting the right recruitment. You can't just say, we're going to go and, because in the Championship, you had Tony bang goals, you had Mitrovic bang goals that came to the Premier League and didn't. You can't necessarily just go we're going to get a top striker and he's necessarily going to go bang.
Mitrovic if I was them, they've had him already.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do something like that. Someone who's proven the Championship. And I think it's like the players that they've got.
Penalty for Crystal Palace.
Oh, wow.
At Wolves transfer for Crystal Palace to double their lead at Molineux.
Wow, this is... And who will take that penalty? I mean, Wilfred Zaha, is he an option for taking penalties potentially?
Maybe not after the last time.
Maybe Gallagher.
That miss was horrible.
He slipped in against the last
been amongst the goals. So maybe,
but they've scored it.
It's a goal. A goal at Molineux. It's a second goal. And it is Zaha with the penalty. 2-0. Crystal Palace lead. Wow. 2-0. Patrick Vieira's men. And that is a massive advantage over Wolves. I was saying at the start of the show, Wolves don't really score a truckload of goals. That's been their Achilles heel, really, as to why they're not even pushing higher up the league. Obviously, defensively, they've been brilliant this season, but they do tend to miss chances. The conversion rate's not great. And now, a team that are used to maybe countering in transitions, they're going to have to pile on the pressure. And now Palace can sit in, soak it up, and break on them with Elise on the break. So very much suits Palace to be 2-0 up against a Wolves team like this.
We mentioned trying to dive into League One here quickly because we were talking about Ravel Morrison before and the player that he could have been and the bags of potential he had. Sheffield Wednesday have just equalised Lincoln City thanks to Saido Berahino.
Oh wow!
30-odd million pounds he was quoted at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he was making trips without even any authorization.
Odin Wingy style.
Odin Wingy style, making trips to go and sign for Tottenham, and then the deal doesn't go over the line. Daniel Levy says, I'm not really feeling it, mate. You know what I'm saying? Sorry for inconveniencing you, do you know what I'm saying?
Sorry for ruining your career and giving you a big ego for no reason.
It's all gone down since then.
But he was also at Stoke.
Yeah,
he got his move eventually, and he did go to Stoke. Remember, they had that period where they had Brojan, the former Barcelona player. They had Alphalai, former Barcelona winger as well, the Dutch winger. That's still Shawcross, still the foundations of the team. But they tried to play better football in the Rockies and move away from that Rory Delap
Long throw.
Long throw.
So yeah, he did get his break, but it didn't work out for him, and now he's Sheffield Wednesday.
Question, Matisse. Conor Gallagher.
Yes.
Does he get him to your team next season?
He gets into the squad, 100%. Not into the starting 11 immediately for me, but there's a lot of traits that he has that
Not better than Mason Mount.
Not for me. I think it's too early to say that. It's easy to say that when he's at Palace. You know, less pressure, more space on the counter, no low blocks. But does he have that precise passing to break a low block? He'll still need to improve on that part of his game. Goal scoring wise, he's doing very well.
Chelsea's top goal scorer this season, isn't it?
Well, he is. He's you see these Man United fans. They know.
I have to, innit?
They know how to word it.
That's all I can clutch onto. Listen,
that hit right in the heart. Right in the heart. When I was predicting Chelsea's top goal scorers, at no point did I think Conor Gallagher at Crystal Palace.
Bro, must be a close second.
Yeah, it's not doing too bad. But listen, these guys, you're all coming home, and then we will show you how to not score goals. Don't worry.
Well, with the owner on his way out, maybe you need these players just to come back. You know what I mean? You won't have to spend any money in the summer. We'll just bring all the loan players back.
100%.
Bring them all back.
Well, traditionally, La Cobham, exactly. Traditionally, of course, we've been the loan army has been out there. The WhatsApp group is buzzing. Do you know what I'm saying? And we're going to need them because now only £1 once again. Back to the dark days.
I just need the Glazers to take over Chelsea.
No.
That's what I need.
No.
The Glazers say, we need a new challenge.
No. You know why they should stay at Man United? I'll give you the blueprint. Bigger stadium, more revenue, big institution, biggest club in the world, more fans. Why would you? No, you stay over there.
We're a small club. We've only won 3 European Cups. Chelsea will pass that soon. Liverpool's got 6. Like, who are we? Why do you want Manchester United? Matter of fact, there's only one United. Go and get Newcastle and do yourself a
we're
favour.
sorted now. We're sorted. I see he's in the chat asking where is Don Robbie now. He is on his way. Traffic delays here in London, but Don Robbie will be joining us on the Saturday Football Show as soon as he can.
Yeah.
Now, Matisse, there's only one game in the Premier League at the minute that hasn't had any goals.
Yes, and that is my game, Burnley versus Chelsea. They've decided that they're going to have a little ball fest. To be honest, this is the kind of game that you'd expect from both teams. Chelsea is not the greatest at finishing. We've seen that in the Carabao Cup final, haven't we? And of course, Burnley, you wouldn't really establish and be known for scoring a truckload of goals, would you? So a 0-0 is not really a surprise at Turf Moor. I'm sure they're still feeling themselves and trying to get some sort of grip on the game. And of course, like I said, the wind is playing its part.
Wet, windy Turf Moor. We'll maybe touch on Chelsea in the new era. Maybe at half time we'll dump into that because I want to look at Millwall, who've just scored and are taking the lead at Reading. 1-0 up there. Yeah. Millwall.
Jake Cooper. Yeah.
Only a few points off the playoff places in the Championship or Millwall. You said you wanted more London teams in the Premier League, mate. Is that on for you?
Nah, not
fancy Millwall away, do you
not them. I'm not trying to see
fancy the Lions Den.
I'm not trying to see a high police presence for the West Ham games. In Southwark.
Can't go to Stratford Westfield when Millwall in town.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right.
We'll be like, do you want to do the Saturday show this weekend, Matty? Nah, Millwall are playing. Are you all right? Staying away.
It's not even safe in the studio.
It's not. They're outside. It would be interesting to see Millwall come up, wouldn't it?
It would be dangerous for the police to deal with that game against West Ham, I must say, because every time I'm pretty sure they played each other, it's always been a problem. Match latest, I thought there was a goal at Turf Moor, but there wasn't. They're just showing the score just to remind me.
A goal at Turf Moor? Come on, Matty.
Not the day.
But QPR scored against Cardiff. Andre Gray with the goal in 38 minutes. Obviously, the former Burnley striker up top for them. And Queen's Park Rangers also in the playoffs and doing quite well. Another team in my local area. Another local that could potentially come up. I wouldn't mind them and Fulham together. Throw them both up, keep Brentford, and we'll just have a little southwest London rivalry.
Yeah, have a little southwest London Cup.
Yeah, 100%. We should make that in the pre-season actually. That's a good idea. So yeah,
add that to your trophy cabinet like Spurs with their Audi Cup.
No, we don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? We'll auction that off for charity. The Audi Cup, and what's going to be the Toyota Cup next for Tottenham is crazy.
People are complaining about the wonky tablet stand, yeah? How am I going to fix that?
They're complaining. Come on, guys.
OCD
guys,
triggered.
Come on.
And also, that Aubameyang, he's still up there. Why is he not being changed?
We need a new tablet stand. I can't fix that. It's knackered. Look at it.
Oh, it's knackered.
I think so, isn't it?
Oh no, producer's gonna be fuming.
I mean, the details that people spot, bloody hell.
Yeah, they really do.
Mental.
Did you even realise it was wobbly?
Well, I didn't realise.
And you're the one using it.
I think they must be able to see it better from the look like there, aren't they?
They're getting a great view.
It's just
I've got to make sure I look good. They're looking at everything.
Yeah, man, listen. These
got them
cameras are
8K
4K.
cameras, yeah.
See, I should have got a shape up before I came in. Guys be analysing my forehead.
La Liga settings.
La Liga settings, so true. Why can't we get those cameras in the Premier League?
Oh, yeah, they're brilliant.
They're really
Third
good.
eye, they're called third eye as well, so no wonder they're taking fine details. Thanks, brother, you're the hero of the stream for trying. It was wonky, it's fine now, no problem. It's still fine at St James's Park as well, as Newcastle are still 2-0 up with just 4 minutes left to play the first half. Swansea have doubled their lead at home to Coventry. Michael Obafemi with a goal there for Swansea.
I thought I was Obafemi Martins for a second. I was so confused. I was like, what's going on here?
Oh, that youngster.
Yeah. What a striker. The pace he had on Football Manager. Oh my God. He was unbelievable.
He was amazing.
Unbelievable.
And the shot power as well.
You've had some really good players.
I did.
You really have.
Obafemi Martins for us. He scored that goal against Spurs. It was 90 miles an hour or something, wasn't it? On match of the day. They measured it.
Do you remember the comeback against Arsenal? Of course you do.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Scenes that. Unbelievable. R.I.P. checks here.
Yeah. What a player he was. Unbelievable.
I
Incredible.
say this Newcastle game, like the Bradford made a couple saves.
Yeah, he did make a great save before, didn't he?
Yeah, you defended well because Brighton are.
They're not giving up.
Brighton are looking for goals, isn't it? That's the way they play. They never kind of back down. So Newcastle are having to do the job in both areas. They've been clinical because you haven't had a hat full of chances.
No, I think
but
we've
you've
kind
been
of
clinical.
Yeah, I think Brighton have probably been the better side since Newcastle doubled the lead. But this is the danger. Don't sit back, lads. Don't encourage Brighton to get forward because it probably will be a matter of time before they get one. And then even if they get one, it makes for a nervy end, doesn't it?
Well, you got St. Maximin back in it. He's on the bench.
Looking forward to
that's
seeing him.
Yeah.
In the second half, he could be
He's brilliant on social media. He's so funny.
He loves it,
unbelievable.
You know, he's someone who definitely controls his own social media.
Oh yeah,
account.
100%. You don't have to worry about no management team taking over there.
no.
You know, we'll know the day that they do. You know, they won't be able to come with the same source he does on social media. Absolutely not.
The poll has ended. All right, and the results conclusive, no doubt about it.
Really?
Who would you rather have, Joe Linton or Oliver Skip? Joe Linton, 84% voted for Joe Linton. Yeah, nearly 700 people voted.
I stated my case.
84% for Joe
The
Linton.
16% are Spurs fans.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
And a lot more hate Spurs than there will be Spurs fans in that chat. So, you know, this is obviously Arsenal, a lot of Arsenal fans in that chat, I'm sure. So, yeah, easy poll.
Big up, Shresht, for the super chat there. Thank you very much. Spurs have won nothing, but surprised Kane and Son have stayed. Also not hearing any links of them moving. Any thoughts on that? Do you think Spurs will keep a hold of Harry Kane and Son this summer?
There's definitely talk about Kane moving. It's actually interesting that we don't hear much about Son leaving.
Son signed a new contract in the summer, 5-year deal.
Oh, is it? But you think that 5-year deal or not? There's no you don't hear Real Madrid in for him.
I think he's happy to stay. I think he's just happy in London. He's happy at the club. He's comfortable. He's a star there. He's starting. I thought personally, you know, the ambition from him would have been to move to a bigger club,
Champions League,
challenge for trophies. He's got more than enough quality to do so.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he gets a lot of stick because of, you know, going out of form more, but you know, the service and the lack of quality behind him throughout the rest of the team.
Well, it's just them two, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's Kane and Son,
it's
Son and Kane.
Yeah. If you put him
Son and
into
Kane have seen it.
if you put him into that Liverpool team, say on the left wing, the chances that they
it's a
create
different
with him
beast.
being both footed, he can
Different
go on both
beast.
flanks. He would clean up. So I don't know. He's a strange one for me to not make that move. But yeah,
For me, I think Son could get into the majority of teams in Europe across all
I
leagues.
agree.
I honestly think he's that good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Matisse, there's another goal in the Premier League.
Oh, who's it gone for? It's Aston Villa. It's not Chelsea. It's Aston Villa with the goal. 2-0. I was scanning the scores there, trying to pray and hope. But no, it is 2-0 to Aston Villa. A second goal there. And it has gone to Douglas Luiz, of course, in midfield. And obviously, Steven Gerrard's men are doubling the lead there against Southampton.
Aye.
Good team they're playing up against. So that is a big goal for them. And I mean, they'll be comfortable now. You're hoping in mid-table for Steven Gerrard, of course.
Yeah.
And he's just laying down the foundations for the next season, I think. And, you know, the pool power that he's got, same with Frank Lampard at Chelsea. The one thing these English managers, especially the legends of the game, they have a lot of pool power. You say you want to come play for Steven Gerrard, a lot of players idolised him, watched him growing up. They'll bite your hand off for it. So
And you look at the Southampton result: beat West Ham, beat Everton, drew with Man United, beat Spurs, drew with Man City. Listen, for Villa to beat them if they hold on at this stage, That's a huge win.
I'm
That's a
happy
huge
with that
win.
because Newcastle play Southampton on Thursday night, so hopefully that knocks them down a peg. Because they have been on great form, Southampton. They've been full of confidence. They've been flying up the Premier League. They're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup as well. But Villa there, it's a big win for Gerrard.
Sorry, can I just
pressure
say,
last week, he'd only won 2 and 9, then he went to Brighton and won, and now he's winning again today.
We've got the BT score thing up on the TV. Every time I look up and I see that guy, I think it's 50 Cent. Like, sorry, it's just me. I'm like, oh wait, no.
New career for 50. I don't even know who that is on the screen.
I don't know who it is either.
Shout out Ashley Piggott there, asking how our crew doing. Thanks for the super chat there. He's saying crew need a win. Let's have a look for you because as it stands on our screens, I can't see.
Are losing 1-0 to Wycombe Wanderers.
Oh, sorry, Ashley, you're losing 1-0 to Wycombe Wanderers.
And
Crew.
they are bottom of league.
They definitely do need a win then.
Yeah. 6 points from safety.
Wow, that's not looking good.
8 points from safety.
Crew, Alex,
That's not looking good. Sorry, Ashley. Hope they can turn it around for you in the second half. Got a chat here saying Coutinho got a great assist. Great assist for Coutinho.
Thank you, Coutinho. Needed that for my FPL. I've got Ryan Fraser.
Have you got Ryan Fraser
on
as
my
well?
Bench.
Oh, you've had a
He
stinker
got a
there.
goal and assist. He got the assist for
Got
the
the goal
fabulous
assist.
goal.
He scored
That's
2
no
weeks
good.
ago, I think, as well.
That's no good.
Got an assist last week as well.
I stopped playing that game because it's too
stress.
much stress. It's too much stress.
Newcastle are in here. Oh, Jacob
Far
Murphy
too much
should have
stress.
scored. Look at this, lads. Duffy slips there and Jacob Murphy 1-on-1. Easy chance.
I was
Straight
about
at
to
the
say,
keeper.
what do you mean Jacob Murphy? Don't you play for Aston Villa? No, it's Jacob Ramsey.
Jacob Ramsey. Yeah. I'd happily have the swap.
Would you? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Ramsey's looked really good
He
this
has,
season. He
he
really
has.
has. He's coming into his own here in the Premier League. I think this is the first season I've seen him. He's just
Same.
broken
First time
in.
I've seen him, so I
Yeah,
think
he's
he
just
must be
broken through.
broken in now.
And yeah, I think listen, Villa actually, they've always had some good English players kind of dotted around their team. Remember the days of Ashley Young and Gareth Barry and whatnot. So I think that's key. I don't know if Gerrard did mention that, but although yes, spending on Coutinho etc., you still need to try and produce some players. That's something they've been pretty good at. It just helps you balance out that team a bit. But Coutinho, the impact is crazy right now.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. I think we said of the pulling power that Steven Gerrard's got there. I mean, we put in for him. I think he comes to Newcastle or someone else if it wasn't for Gerrard at Villa, to be honest with you. But ex-teammates and all that. Yeah. He chose to
They
go
were linked
there.
with Suarez as well, actually.
I think that'll happen in the summer. Just
Yeah.
get the band back together.
do you think Suarez could do it at this age in the Premier
I
League?
don't know.
Because
Like,
we've seen
is he
Ronaldo.
34 now, isn't he? 35?
Yeah, 34. We've seen Ronaldo come back, not quite the same, of course, as
Yeah.
well. It's not easy.
It's
not. It's not easy.
So
The Premier League-
It's the worst league to come to at that age.
That's the thing. People
Cool, America. Chill out.
Yeah, you can debate, which one you think's better. And most people say Premier League. People say, technically, but what you can't deny is the physicality of the Premier League, the speed of it. So the older you get, the harder it is to play in this league compared to any other league. Like if you see players at older age play well in the Premier League, that is much credit to them because to keep that level of physicality and the speed of thought, players are closing you down all over. Whereas you play in Italy, you play in Spain,
Slower.
you got a bit more time.
Yeah.
There's certain players who even in their prime, they'll come to Man United, they come to Chelsea, and they struggle in the Premier League, but in the Champions League for the same clubs,
Yeah.
they're playing well,
Yeah.
just because of the style of play. Or international football at the same time, they're playing well. Veron is one, for example, I think
Veron,
about,
yeah.
Very good
who
example.
flopped at both of our clubs, but even for Man United in the Champions League, he was one of our best players. And I'm like, but it's the Premier League. It's a different. I think Bundesliga is probably up there in terms of physicality, pace as well. But yeah, it'll be tough for
I think the
Suarez.
French league quite physical. Bundesliga, defensively, they
defensively.
they just don't want to defend out
No.
there. I've
It's a
never
free-for-all.
seen anything like it.
For an attacker, you want to go to the
I
Bundesliga.
do like the league because it is very entertaining and they have some really good technical players, but they just open sesame for the defense. It's crazy. I've never
street
seen anything
football,
like
isn't
it. Yes, it's incredible, honestly.
So there is another poll there for you lot to get involved in the chat there. What we were talking about earlier, the most underrated Premier League manager this season. Whilst you're getting involved in that poll, make sure you smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are only 4,000 away from the big 200k mark, so please smash the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up as well. Doesn't take much, does it? Gio Forzia's got a question for me. Matty, is this Wolves out the top 4 race? Absolutely. I can't see Wolves getting top 4 now. I can't even see them getting top 6, to be honest. They're going to be struggling now.
Yeah, I
Bad
didn't-
couple of results.
I didn't think they were in the top 4 race anyway, to be honest. I think, when it comes down to it, the other clubs will probably start to assert themselves as the latter stages go. But for sure, in the Europa League, at bare minimum, you'd want to be aiming for that if you're Wolves after this very good season. So yeah, I think that should be their aim. I don't think top 4 is realistic, to be honest.
I think once they lost both those games in quick succession to Arsenal,
direct
rivals, isn't it?
That was out. Exactly. That was out for me. I think they had to win at least one of those 2 games. I think they played like 2 in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Once they did that, I think they're out of it.
Yeah.
And as it stands, they're sitting in 8th. 7th gets Conference League.
Conference League,
Conference League. They're sitting in 8th. But top 4's gone.
Top 4's out there for them. Stuart George asks Matty and the boys, do you think Palace can push for Europa next season under Patrick Vieira? I'll let you start that.
I think so. I think when it comes to that, from 7th, 8th, 9th, those kind of positions, I think it's always open. The fact that Leicester have been up there 2 years in a row. Wolves, when they first came up, they were in Europa League. They were pushing for Europa League under Nuno Espirito Santo. West Ham are there now. Wolves for a period or pushing for it as well. So I don't think any club, especially if you finish mid-table this season, you should not rule out going for Europa, because I think from one season to the next, there's no guarantee that just because you had a good season this year, West Ham had a good season this year, there's no guarantee they're going to be there next year. You need to be in that position to take their place. Look at Arsenal this season. Nobody said Arsenal going to get top 4, but you need a couple of teams to fall away, and you need to make sure you're in the position to strike. So I think for Palace's progression, they could have stuck with Roy Hodgson, stay up every season, a bit of boring football, but no, they're trying to push forward. And pushing forward, it doesn't just mean playing better football that looks good. It means getting better results and pushing higher at the table. So that has to be a target, when they finish in the top half at a minimum, and potentially pushing for European place. Maybe not Europa League, but Conference League at least.
At least, yeah. I think the key for them would be to try and maybe bring in Gallagher on a permanent. When you've got someone doing that well on loan and they fit in and they're on form, they're happy. Of course, from a Chelsea perspective, that's not good news for us. But for them, if they want to get better, you need to keep your best players. He's been one of them. So if they could throw in a cheeky bid and our new owners are a little bit stingy, you never know. You never know.
I think that's what I was going to point out in terms of ask me again after the transfer window. Because will they keep hold of Gallagher and stuff? Who are they going to?
And of course, Newcastle are going to be pushing next season as well. So there's another club to add to that.
Exactly.
To add to that list.
It's a very good
I
point.
was going to ask. Obviously, you mentioned Gallagher. He's on loan at Palace. They had another player for a couple of years from you, Loftus-Cheek.
Yes.
Who did very well there.
Yeah.
But between him and his agent and whoever, Chelsea wanted him to come back to Chelsea.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to break into the team on a consistent basis. He's played a few games and he's looked good when he plays. He generally looks good when he plays, but he's unable to break in at the highest level. Would it be
out of the question to go for him?
Not even just that, but I mean, linking it to Colin Gallagher, does he have to look at those kind of examples to say, is it better to sit on Chelsea's bench or do I play for a mid-table Premier League side instead?
Depends if you back yourself, isn't it? I think you can draw to the Mason Mounts, but you can also draw to the Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It just depends on how much you believe in your own ability to go into that Chelsea first team, glittered with internationals, and really make an impact. I think from everything I see verbally in terms of interviews and whatnot, it seems like he really backs himself to make it at Chelsea. But obviously Loftus-Cheek had the added issue of injuries, which is something Gallagher hasn't come across yet on a regular basis. So I think he does back himself to come to Chelsea, but I think it all depends on Chelsea's structure of the midfield. Is a player like Barkley still going to be there? Is Loftus-Cheek?
Forgot he was there.
Bro, I'm telling you, if I was to go through some of the players that you forget about
Is
Chelsea,
still there?
He's running out of
No
contract.
way is he.
He's on loan at Reading actually.
Okay.
So him and Bamaraman are on loan. It's a 2-for-1 deal. You know what I'm saying? So,
Just try, get him, take him, do whatever you want.
100%.
Super chat here from Chester again. Thank you very much for that. Big question. Name 10 guys who have come from other leagues and bossed it in the Premier League in the last 5 years. Premier League is different gravy. Even Lukaku was godly in another league, but not yet. So 10 players.
Last 5 years. We're talking 2016, 17.
10 players who came over and bossed it in the last few years from other leagues.
See, I could say Kante, but he was 2015.
He came to Leicester way before that. I think to some degree, and I'm not a massive fan of the player, but I think Bruno Fernandes, you could say, you can't really have that impact whether people like it or not, and say that he's flopped. He certainly hasn't flopped at Manchester United.
Definitely not.
So he's definitely one of those that you'd add to that list.
Ruben Diaz, that's definitely one.
Yes, Manchester City for sure, 100%. Mendy as well in goal for Chelsea,
and that surprised me.
Thiago Silva, unbelievable.
He's
a generational defender. He's bossed it for sure.
Alisson, Where did he come? Was he Roma, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He came 20.
Is that within the last 5 years?
2018 he joined.
Okay.
Yeah, after Van Dijk. I would say Edison as well. We named 3 goalkeepers now.
Yeah.
Mendy, Edison.
It's just easier to
I'll
name
name another one, Jules
goalkeepers.
Yesol. I mean, he's getting there. He's getting there.
But let me
Easier to name
think.
the goalkeepers.
I could put Raul Jimenez, to be fair. He bossed it before his head injury. He was bossing it, you know what I mean?
Midfield. Who's midfield? Spurs.
Midfielders there.
No, Spurs' recruitment's been
we'll not talk Spurs.
No,
apart from Son.
Yeah, but that was ages ago.
Was that?
I don't think it was
been there
within
longer
the
than
5 years.
has he?
It definitely has to have been.
When did Fabinho? Was that 2016 or 17?
Fabinho's a boss, yeah.
Because he's been brilliant.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who's even more recent.
Yeah.
Get them in the comments, everyone. Get them in the comments.
Yeah.
Mac Hour, the super chat there. Thanks very much for that. Arteta finished 8th twice in a row. 2 Arsenal worst finishes. Not underrated in the slightest.
Facts.
Well, see, this is it. Arsenal fans want us to give us credit where we deserve
They want
it.
the flowers for somewhere they should be anyway.
Exactly.
Like, in terms of you take over mid-season, you finish 8th.
Yes.
Now, the next full season,
You finish 8th.
you finish 8th. Maybe you should have finished maybe 6th. This season, 4th. That's just normal progression.
And
You're on track.
And last season, they were only finished 6 points off top 4.
Yeah.
So you go into this season, you spend the most of anyone in the league, 150 million.
Yeah.
And what? We're supposed to praise you for doing your
Finally
job.
getting to where you
Like,
ought to be.
You know, no disrespect to Arsenal, but if Man United just performed as half as good as we can, you would not be favourites for top 4 as it stands. The job that you're doing in terms of wins and points is what you should be doing. It just happens to be that right now it's good enough to be favourite for top 4. I'm not going to overpraise you for it. That's what you want me to do. I'm not going to be made a fool.
But I think that
I'm not
just
gonna
goes
be
to
made a
show
fool.
how far Arsenal's standards have fallen.
Yep.
That they are almost not celebrating, but looking for a lot of praise for something that really that's the standard.
It should
isn't
be. It should be box standard.
That's the box standard is finishing 4th. You know, that's what
Listen,
Arsene Wenger. You know, that's what.
Well, that's what they got. That's what they got rid of him for, isn't it?
I'm going to stop you there because I can't confirm Don Robbie is in the building. He will be back to continue this debate, which I'm sure you'll love to get stuck into. We're going to look at the round table debate now for 2 minutes and join us as the second half will be underway very shortly.
There's a bit.
Watch it again. Well, I don't know, man.
No.
If VAR was still about, you know what I
pulled
mean?
him, innit?
If we're talking comebacks, though, surely we're going to talk Newcastle 4. Arsenal 4.
Anyway, let's get a move on with the show.
Should have been 5.
I actually, you know what?
Nail Ranger. Big up
R.I.P.
Ranger.
You know what? Actually, I was
Yeah,
when I
well,
looked through the
he's doing
50, I was surprised that weren't in there because that was an incredible comeback by Newcastle. But anyway,
And us be Man City, but I mean,
Arsenal Tottenham
Ajax, sorry.
4-4 should have been in there
Ajax.
as well, innit? Remember the 4-4 Tottenham Arsenal? That was an amazing.
yeah. But that
I think
Ajax,
the Man City game, the 4-3 thriller at their ground, that was a mental game. The VAR game and stuff like that. But I think Germany. How is Germany and Brazil not here? Germany when they won 7-1 in the semi-finals en route to winning the World Cup. That's got to be top 10. Like devastate. I don't think I've seen a more devastating performance.
Arsenal
in such
2,
a
Man
big game
United
in
3,
World Cup.
1999.
Okay.
Again, I've got horrible memories
Good.
of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Describe it to us.
Minute by minute.
Anyway, let's move on.
I'm surprised he hasn't got Liverpool 9-0 Crystal Palace in there as well because at the time I think that was the first time it had ever been 9 goals in the league had ever been done.
Because he probably looked on it and said, "There's enough Liverpool stuff in there already. No more in it." Right, listen, we're gonna crack. Look, we're gonna put a link in the description. Get involved with that. It is really, really interesting. Motty's top 50. Hashtag Motty's top 50. And you can discuss it for days on end. It's awesome.
Your thoughts into that, but look who's joined. We're finally second half. He's ready. He's here. Don Robbie, how are we doing, mate?
I'm good, man. I love the way you just jumped back in that chair like that was professional. Trust me. Yeah, that was skillful.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the show for the past 45 minutes driving here. My son had a big game today, local derby, which they won 3-2.
Well done,
Well done to them. It was a great performance. But I've been listening to these like dissing Arsenal. You know what I mean? I've been listening to that Neeks over there as usual, going Arsenal. Hey Matisse, you know what? At my son's game today, we did a look. Hold on.
Let's see.
We did a little. Whip.
Oh wow! A little whip round, yeah. Save the bridge.
Save the bridge. We did a little whip round for the bridge. There you go.
Ain't no problem.
Right, hold on, wait, what else should we get? We got £1.
There's a transfer budget. Look at that.
£1.62.
I love
Right,
it.
that can go towards saving the bridge.
I'll call my guys Newcastle see if they can help
pick
you
up
out,
someone
mate.
from Sunday
See if I can get some Saudi money dropped off.
Sell Lukaku, you can double that.
Oh my God! But no,
madness.
great to be here, man. I've been listening to the show. And it's been absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Been
mate.
enjoying
Well
it.
done, guys.
Cheers,
Yeah,
mate. Cheers, mate. Been enjoying it. It's been some good games.
No
some-
AJ Tracy, as you guys said.
Neeks,
know what I mean?
isn't it?
He's at the Liverpool West Ham game, but yeah, no, it's been great.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it, man. We've been enjoying it, haven't we, lads? It's been some good games, some good goals.
Yeah,
We're all
Newcastle,
smiling,
man.
yeah, mate.
I know you're
Newcastle.
smiling. Newcastle, they're on fire.
8 games unbeaten, Robbie. 8
Wow.
games unbeaten, 14
Wait,
for
is
the
this
league.
the 8th or the 9th?
This is the 8th, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't over yet, but I can't see you losing from this position.
Nah, I hope not. I
But
hope
wow, what Newcastle? I said it. You know, what I mean, in the preview I did the other day, Eddie Howe. Put some respect on his name, man,
Big
because
name.
you know I know everybody's looking ahead. They're looking ahead of Eddie Howe, aren't they? And they're thinking, yeah, when the money comes in, he'll be gone. But what if he continues to? You know, because you got to look at it as well that the buys he's made, and you guys, I heard you guys saying it. You know, like Dan Burn and people like that. You obvious guys that you know what I mean. But they're the guys to do the job.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
the
been
new
really-
owners have came out, gave a great interview last week, saying how much they've got big plans for the club, new training ground, expand St James's Park, and all this. But they want Eddie Howe to be there, Sir Alex Ferguson. You know, they want him to be there for years.
Well, I think you could be the new Chelsea.
I think so.
Listen, I said it's a circle of life, Robbie. Money comes and goes. Do you know what I'm saying? Not everyone can have it. Here you go. Take it and run with it.
It's
You're looking at the Club World Cup champions 2025.
It is incredible. I mean, the whole.
No, sorry, what's Sir Alex? How dare they? How dare they?
Remember when Sir Alex took over? Sir Alex
just
took
picked it
over
up.
Old Trafford.
No. What? Sorry.
He only just picked it up.
Sorry.
Sir Alex came from
I just let
Aberdeen.
that slide like it was just any old manager give me the next. Sir Alex, 26 years. Listen, anyhow, I like you, but if this is the expectation they got for you, get out now. Get out now. But it's good ambition. No, it's good ambition to have. He ain't gonna be here for 26 years. I guarantee you.
They're
that.
gonna be
If
serious.
he's there for 26 months, he's done well in this current climate.
They're gonna be
of
serious though,
Premier League
Neeks.
football. Yeah, I know.
They're
I
gonna be
know they
serious.
are.
I mean, the money they got. And you know, all jokes aside on the Chelsea thing, but we remember we did the show the other day, and I was saying that you're never gonna get another owner like Roman Abramovich. You're never going to get another owner
as an individual
who like it's not like it's every year he does it. It's like every year, like you could know that if he was in charge at the end of this year, he'd be like, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with Lukaku. I'm not happy. And if it needs to replace Lukaku, he will.
Yeah.
But a new person coming in, they're not going to be able to do that. They're not going to have the same. They're not going to have the same
ambition
sort of
and drive.
ambition and drive and pride. He obviously loves the club. That he will do, and
he became a fan.
Yeah.
He's a fan with
Yeah.
like, a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's like, we're going to keep
and
winning.
he wants
we're
to
gonna keep
win.
winning.
And he's
We're gonna
like, I
keep
want to
winning.
win. Whereas if it goes to, you know, like I've seen two of the people that are interested in buying it, American owners.
Yeah, I saw.
That you know, and I know what American owners are like. They are looking to make a profit. They, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. But they're looking to run it as a business. It's not their personal sort of project where they're like, I want to just keep winning. I don't care how much money I spend.
And the difference is when Roman brought Chelsea, 100 million?
140.
140 million.
So
He's still making a profit.
But that's the thing, he's going to make a profit anyway.
But he's built the brand,
At
really.
Chelsea, whoever buys them now, they're spending over 3 billion.
nearly 3 billion,
So to get that money back,
I'm still a bit sceptical if they'll get 3 billion for it.
I don't think they will. I think that price will drop with,
Yeah,
with the current
I
climate.
think that's overpriced.
Then
What,
again,
what
there's
you're
a lot of
saying though
bidders.
is right, because if a new owner came in and spent nearly 100 million on a striker like they did for Lukaku, and Abramovich has done in the past with Timo Werner and Kepa as well, I think the new owner would be like, well, no, you make him work.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
spent
Yeah,
this
well, that's
amount,
what other
you make him work.
That's
I'm
what
not
other
gonna-
clubs do, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what
you know,
other
and last week we're seeing Chelsea bring on the most expensive goalkeeper in the world to save penalties.
He didn't
You know,
save
what other
any,
club?
but yeah.
And he didn't save it, and his penalty ended up in Harsland. But what other team could do that? No other team, apart from probably you guys.
Man City as well.
Yeah. I think there's only one man that can save Chelsea, to be honest with you. Mike Ashley.
I knew you was going to say that. Absolutely knew you was going to say that. If I see Sports Direct glittered across my stadium, I'm going to lose it.
Sports Direct Bridge.
No,
Sports Direct at Stamford Bridge.
No, thank you. On the poll as well, most underrated manager that we had earlier in the chat, Arteta, 33%. That is absolutely fraudulent behaviour.
You know what? Maybe, you know what it could be, right? It could be a lot of that might have been based off of this season. Because think about it, first 3 games of the season, people were talking about
relegation.
Arteta going down, Arteta being sacked, relegation, all ridiculous things like that. And he's turned it around really, really well. Yes. Listen, I still want to see where he ends up at the end of the season because it has been... You know what? If we get into the top 4, it's been a brilliant season.
Yeah.
If we don't get into the top 4...
It's about how you miss out. Like if Man United go on a good run and you miss out by a point, you say we're in a good position, we just missed out. If you fall away, you lose 3 in a row and you no winning 5, 6, then you have to say.
I still think personally, I still think United are the favourites for it.
No,
I do. And the reason,
Newcastle United.
And but the reason why I say that, right, is that it's the players you've got, right? It's the players you've got.
The game is not played on paper. We're seeing Man United right now, and right now we are awful.
You don't play well as a team, but you've got those individuals that sometimes you don't even whatever level. I saw my son playing this morning. Right, they absolutely dominated their game, and the other team they scored. They went 1-0 up. They just had like a long ball, right, which one of the defenders missed and they were in and they scored. So, you know what I mean? But that's what United have got the quality up front, which I still...
In theory, we do. And I'm not doubting the ability of these players.
Matisse, there has been a goal in the Premier League. Tell me where.
I have no idea. Oh, it's Chelsea! Come on! Yes! 1-0 to Chelsea at Turf Moor. The goal has gone in there. It's Reece James on 47 minutes just after the break. And I have to say, he's back from injury and he's back with a bang because that is instant impact from Reece James there. Critical player who's been out injured for quite a while, actually, along with Ben Chilwell. And as soon as he comes back into the team, he scores. He is one of our best shooters.
He's scoring a lot of goals this season, isn't he?
He's one of our best strikers of the ball. Yeah, he's one of our best shooters. He's got great technique and it's good to have you back, Reece. 1-0 at Turf Moor.
Oh, and that Premier League table is looking absolutely lovely. Look at Newcastle there in 14, 7 points clear. Burnley now after going to go behind 21 points. Everton have just climbed out the bottom 3 thanks to that Chelsea goal there as well, actually. So there's a lot of movement at the bottom of the table.
Still a long way to go, mate. You know what I mean?
There is. There's a long way to go.
I fancied Chelsea would beat Burnley.
You think so?
You normally do, don't you?
Yeah, we normally do. We have a decent record there, but I just think sometimes with Burnley, especially when you play these teams in a relegation zone, there's always a shock there because they're fighting for survival, tooth and nail. You never know what's going to happen.
I mean, Matisse was doing up tie before the game. He was blaming the wet and the wind.
Listen, I did a weather forecast prior, and I'm telling you,
you did the weather forecast without even finding out what it was. But I think I can second that on Burnley. It probably is very cold up there.
No matter what. Big up super chat here from TWA66 asking, guys, don't you think Chelsea fans overhyped Mount?
I don't think so. I think Mason Mount won Player of the Year last year, scored big goals against Porto in the Champions League, assist in the Champions League final as well.
How old is he now, Mount?
I think he's about 22. So, there was always going to be a time where he dropped off a little bit and he went through a little rough patch of form. That's what every young player does. Exactly. And he's got a lot of responsibility tactically in this team. I think a lot of time you see young players and obviously a lot of people that watch football, they want to see the glitz, the glamour, the step-overs, the flicks. But tactically, he's got a lot of responsibility over the last couple of years at Chelsea. Lampard used him, game in, game out, overplayed him.
Yeah. I would say that.
On the brink of injury, and then at Chelsea now Tuchel uses him quite heavily as well. But I 100% agree. This season his performance and level has dropped, but he's a young player.
No, I rate him still, man. I think listen, like you said, a player can be allowed a dip, but since he's burst onto the scene, he's been excellent. He's been excellent for England as well. Yeah. And no, I don't think he's. Listen, like you said, every player goes for a dip.
Yeah.
So,
but this is the problem because it was going bad at Chelsea under Lampard, and he was the guy who was always starting. I guess he was like Lampard's main guy.
At some point.
But because he was always starting, and the results necessarily weren't matching what Chelsea's expectations, he becomes a target. And it's like, well, if he's starting, and the results are what they are, how bad are the players that can't even get him out of the team? You're focusing on the ones who are in the team, actually playing well, saying, oh, this one should be starting. Well, those players were starting, and they weren't good enough.
Penalty to Brentford. There's a penalty to Brentford at Norwich.
And a goal at
big
Aston Villa.
chance there to really put a nail into Norwich's
second.
cock.
Oh,
And they
it's
have
a goal.
scored it.
And a goal
It's
at
a
Villa.
goal, and I wonder if it's Ivan Toney with his second, because he
Ivan
obviously
Toney always takes the
it
penalty.
is.
He always takes the penalties.
Ivan Toney
Big up,
is now
Ivan
on a
Toney
hat-trick.
stepping up. He's
Wow.
stepping up.
Tony on his en route to a hat-trick now.
Yeah, he's one of the best penalty takers in the league. He's brilliant at penalties, man. He hardly ever misses them.
And Aston Villa have also tripled their league at home to high-flying Southampton.
Coutinho.
Wow.
Oh, Philip Coutinho.
Wow.
3-0.
Southampton, you see, this is the thing, right? Sometimes Southampton and Wolves today, two teams that a lot of people have been talking about. Now they've come beyond the radar. All of a sudden now the pressure's on them to go and put a performance in. You know, they haven't done it. I mean, that's Southampton. I thought they'd do well in that
That's
game.
a battering.
That's
Yeah.
a battering.
Maybe the FA Cup run, maybe it's taking a toll on them now. They've got the
But I guess
quarter-final.
when you are
Coutinho's been a good signing, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
But
serious
when you're
impact.
mid-table, this happens, isn't it? The reason why you are mid-table
That's
because you win a
exactly
few,
why.
then
Yeah,
you
that's
lose,
exactly
and
what
then
I'm
you get some unexpected draws here and there, and then you win a game and you lose. So
It's
kind of
difficult,
is
it's
what it
difficult
is.
to keep concentration levels high as well when you're just floating in mid-table. You haven't really got
Yeah, what are you fighting
goal.
for?
You're not really fighting for anything. You're not in a relegation battle. You're not pushing for Europe. You're kind of just hanging about. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Nothing really matters in that respect. Maybe prize money, in terms of where you finish in the Premier League.
Well, that's it. I
about
mean, Southampton aren't going to get dragged into relegation battle. They're not going to be able to push for Europe. So now they're floating around 10th, 11th, 12th, thinking maybe we should focus on the FA Cup. We've got a quarter-final to look forward to.
Yes! Come on! There's a goal at Turf Moor, and it's 2-0 to Chelsea. Obviously, that's why I'm reacting in that manner. And of course, that means that on a wet, windy day in Burnley, we are going to survive and take, hopefully, the 3 points out of that stadium, which I am very, very happy to see. I saw Flex actually do a piece in Turf Moor where he was going around the stadium. It was a brilliant piece. And yeah, listen, I'm very happy. Obviously, tapping Tobe, shout out to you. He was in Burnley the other night and he got that defeat. So we'll take the W.
So it's never
I'm
an
sure you
easy
taught
place.
them what you need to do when you go to Burnley. 2-0.
Not an easy place to go to. Not an easy place to go to.
it's really
so.
It's really not.
But I always
Havertz with the goal. He's in good form at the moment. Really good, consistent performances. Played very well against Lille last week in the Champions League game in the first leg. And of course, it's another goal.
4-0 to Aston Villa now against Southampton. Could this be another 9-0?
Oh God!
Hassan Hootel loves a 9-0.
To be fair, when he gets to that, he's like, guys, just let some more in. Come on, let's make this
Wow,
serious.
Southampton in absolute
They want to
meltdown.
be first on match of the day for all the wrong reasons.
Villa really
Danny
turning it up
Ings.
at Villa Park.
Danny
We're all
Ings
getting
with a goal.
involved.
So
Against his former side, isn't it?
Yeah, against his former side. Obviously, Watkins scored the first goal, so Danny Ings responds as his strike partner with the second. But just about to say, Kai in some good form, played well against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final, and Lukaku dropped, for I think the third consecutive game in terms of outside of the FA Cup game against Luton. So yeah, Kai is leading the line, and he gets another goal today. So goals are flying in the second half.
The
boys.
goals are flying here at the Saturday football show.
Robbie brought all the goals with him.
Yeah.
He brought it from his son's game right here to the studio. That's a goal and 2 assists for Ings, and a goal and 2 assists for Coutinho.
And another penalty to Brentford.
Wow.
Another penalty.
Yo, what's going on, Robbie?
That's a Tony hat-trick.
It
Tony
could be
hat-trick,
an
yeah.
Ivan Toney hat-trick.
I
It
tell you,
could
he
be.
don't miss penalties.
Yeah.
If I had to put money on this right now, even before he's taken, I'm saying
He scores.
£100 on it, he scores.
All right, let's see. If he
All right.
doesn't score
Matisse, you're
now.
not taking him up on that £100
No,
shake?
no.
I will take listen, Ivan Toney.
Bet the whip round. Bet the whip round.
I bet the whip round. Right, I'll take it back.
I think
Right.
I'm backing you as well.
He
Robbie.
doesn't
I think
miss
Tony
penalties,
fires
man.
us
He's
all.
really good. He just he waits for the keeper to go one side and he just places it in the other. He's really good on penalties. Really good.
I'm sure it'll be him taking it again. He's obviously on his hat trick, so it's a good opportunity.
Someone in the comments there saying, give it to Ericsson. That's a lovely idea.
It is.
Oh,
Christian
yeah.
Eriksen
But
taking it.
I think...
Oh, it's another goal at Turf Moor, and it's 3-0 to Chelsea. They are
Jeez.
running rampant at Turf Moor there. Burnley have definitely dropped the bag. They have
And there's
said,
a
"Listen,
goal
we're
back
done."
for Brighton as well.
Oh,
goal
what's
back
that?
for Brighton against Newcastle.
Matty!
Oh,
no.
Matty.
What's the score, Matty?
It says 2 on there, still says 2 on the right. I'm looking at the right. I'm just looking at the right hand side of the screen. Apparently Lewis Dunk on the
Lewis
55th
Dunk,
minute
goal back.
has pulled one back for Brighton.
The
That's going
goals
to
are
make it.
flying in. Havertz again, by the way,
Kai
for
Havertz
Chelsea.
with the double at Burnley, and I'm so happy because I've been calling for him to start ahead of Lukaku ever since the interview, of course, and he's now throwing in some goals to his name on top of the good performances. So hopefully he keeps starting the matches and keeps playing well.
It's a goal.
Oh, it's not a goal! It still says match latest there 2-0. So what's going on there? Has it been disallowed? Or what's going on? Because it hasn't flashed up on the right. We've just had the live report there at the ground. We can see it here.
Looks pretty fine. Unless
look
they
fine
might
to
be
me.
checking it with the keeper.
Did
he head it out of the keeper's
Did
hands?
Brentford score? Did they miss that
Oh,
penalty,
he looks like
Robbie?
Brentford might have missed.
Oh,
It's
Robbie.
still
Brentford missed
2-0.
the
Well,
penalty.
Robbie, we'll take that and we'll put it towards the transfer market.
Ivan Toney, man, after I gave you that big...
Tony.
Give you that Ivan Toney, man. He don't miss penalties, I told you.
We've got a delay, yeah. It's actually 3-0, is it?
Doing my best, man, to try and get this transfer budget.
There's this
Well, I'll
confirmed.
tell you what, that is a massive win for
And
Brentford.
it is confirmed that Brighton have had their goal allowed as well. Some confusion over the header
2-1.
from the corner.
Yeah.
It's going to
2-1.
make a nervy ending at St James's Park. Plenty of time left on the clock for Brighton to come back into it. Hopefully not.
They can't keep up with the score updates there. Ivan
can't.
Toney with the
No,
hat
actually,
trick.
can it?
Ivan Toney with the hat trick. We were saying, you know, a lot of expectation when he came up to the Premier League from the Championship, obviously knocking in all those goals. We're seeing Mitrovic now absolutely, you know, take his record apart in the Championship this season when he comes up potentially with Fulham. But yeah, it's good for him that he
Massive
gets the
for
goals.
him as well. You know, you want your big time players. He's been out, you know, with some injuries, just sort of been working his way back in, and that was a must-win game for them today.
Yeah,
That's
huge.
huge. I'll tell you, it's not a good result for Everton.
No,
it's not.
Or Leeds.
No.
Those two, they're hovering around that zone. They're in trouble.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I'm looking at the title. I'm looking at the league now. Burnley would still be in the bottom three, but look, Everton, 22 points. Leeds on 23. Brentford would be on 27. That's 6 points above
Brentford have
the
played
drop
more
zone.
games than everyone as well.
They have done, but you want the
Points
points,
on the
don't
board.
you? You want the points on the board, man.
You need it.
I heard you guys sort of, you know, reading out the games that Everton have got coming up, and I'm like, those are some tough
looking
games.
tough.
Literally,
Very
between now
tough.
and the end of the season, Palace and Brentford are for me the only games that you say Everton should win. Any other game is either 50-50 or they're not the favourites.
They're not the favourites.
Jeez.
Like, they are in trouble.
Yeah,
They're
they're
in
going to have
trouble.
to seriously step up under Frank Lampard. They've brought in some players in January. Obviously, Van der Beek came in, Dele Alli. Those players are going to have to step up
Where's
massively.
Dele Alli? Big game for him on Monday night. Can he play? Probably not, actually. He's on loan. Won't be able to play, will he? Because that contract was a bit sticky,
he on
wasn't
loan?
it?
No, he's not on loan. They
not on
bought him.
loan.
No, they
haven't
bought him.
So he can't play then, yeah.
So he can play.
So he can play, yeah. It was
But
something mad about...
see, this is what I was saying with the Eddie Howe thing, right? Like, Dele Alli so far has had zero impact. Apart from turning up at the training ground in his Rolls Royce on the first day, he's had zero impact, has he?
No.
Heavy
So-
criticism from the media on that one.
Was that a good signing? When you're in a battle,
For me, no.
you're in a battle. Is that a good signing, Dele Alli? I'm not. You know, I'm not. It's not even a Tottenham hate.
You
thing.
need a character. You need a
thing is-
resilient... Someone who's been there, done it.
The thing is, you can buy a Dele Alli, but he's not going to be one to get you out. It's like Newcastle buying.
but that's what
no,
you-
no, no, I'm saying,
at this
but
stage, that's what you want,
No, but it's
though.
like
Yeah.
Newcastle got Bruno Gomes, but he's not playing. It's you need to supplement it with other players because you're buying for the future. Lampard's not playing just being there for
Even the
6
sort of
months,
monies
but
that
you
are-
need to. You can't go and buy Dele Alli and Van der Beek and think this is going to drag you out of a relegation battle.
Van der Beek one I can see
No,
because
I'm
he's a fighter.
My
Dele Alli's not a fighter, is he? When you're in the
No, he's
trenches,
not.
is
He's
he?
not. He's
My
not a
question
fighter.
was, where's Dele Alli gonna
play.
play? You know, at Tottenham, he was best in the second striker role, running off Kane, and Eriksen was putting the balls into the box for him, and he was running off the shoulder of the defence. Now at Everton, you've got Calvert-Lewin up top, you've got Richarlison, you know, in the front two potentially, you've got Lennon, who's having, sorry, not Lennon. You've got the wide player Townsend, who's having a decent season. Gray signed as well. Where does Ali fit into this? In midfield,
No.
you've got Allen, you've got Van der Beek, you've got De Cruyff.
And he still don't look fit to me either.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And for me, with the time he's had at Tottenham, he needs consistent week in, week out football to get the confidence up. Not to be
But
coming
this
off
is the
bench
reason
and-
why Newcastle, why Everton are down where they are.
Yeah.
For years, the
Poor
recruitment
signings.
has been
Yeah.
poor. They're buying
$500
names.
million.
And they bought so many number 10s as well.
Oh, Sigurdsson,
Remember
Rooney.
They
So
had
many number
so
10s.
many.
Yeah, so
There's
many
so many
10s.
number 10s. And it's like, what are you going to do with all of them?
I've noticed something since I've come onto the stream over the last 5 minutes or so. Is how quiet Matty's gone.
He's nervous.
Can you tell I'm nervous now? You know,
He's
First half, I was having a good time, enjoying myself.
You were dying.
We were cruising.
Yeah, he's
I mean, look at that beer. Look at that beer. Look at my one. It's not even started. He's nearly done. Now.
Yeah, he's nearly
he's
done
stressed
now.
out right now. You know
Jesus.
what I mean?
It's a nervous. It's a nervous.
Oh, cheers.
But it is because, you know, there's still a good half an hour left at St James's Park, and at the minute we're 7 points above the bottom 3. We need to hold on to this because we've got some tough away games coming up. We've got Southampton on Thursday night. We've got Chelsea just a couple of days later next Sunday. And we've got Everton away. That's a huge game.
Huge.
Spurs away after the international break. So I think today is a great opportunity to carry on this winning form and keep yourself floating around 14th place and not get dragged back into it so quickly.
This is where Burn makes his money, isn't it?
Yeah, let Dan Burn pop up with a header. That'd be great.
But Brighton are a good team on the ball, obviously, with Potter. They know how to cage a team in, how to dominate possession. The one thing I've said with Brighton this season is finishing-wise, they don't, for me, have the calibre of striker they need to get enough goals. I think if you put a Danny Ings in that team or someone like that who's just a proper finisher, they would have been, maybe even doing
Don't like the
better.
way Newcastle's sitting back.
Yes.
In this game.
Well,
We
to be fair,
mentioned that as soon as it went 2-0,
they've been
didn't we?
sitting back since they got the second goal.
Yeah, well,
We've been
that's
sitting back
never a
too
good
much.
against a team like Brighton. I wouldn't.
Stop inviting pressure. Do you know what I mean?
is that a foul?
We're inviting pressure.
Inviting a lot of pressure here. Corner as well.
We mentioned Brighton not being able to score. Like they went 3 games in a row they've lost, and then 3 games in a row without scoring a goal as well.
So there you go.
Newcastle have actually got the best defensive record in the country this year as well. Put that in there.
Is that right?
It is. That's right.
Wow.
In the top 4 divisions in England. Lovely. Thank
Burn
you.
masterclass.
Yeah, Eddie Howe masterclass, just like Don was saying. I mean, underrated.
Unbelievable.
3 goals conceded
There's
this
some
year. Well,
battery.
now 4.
We got 3-0, 3-0, 4-0.
It's going to be a good match
Goals
of
have
the day.
been flying in today,
Good
isn't it?
match of
Yeah.
the day.
Goals have been flying in.
Yeah,
That's a surprise one. It doesn't shock me, but Palace beating Wolves. And I'll tell you what, Palace are a good team.
Yeah, very much.
I remember
so.
when they came to the Emirates, they should have beaten us. They were excellent.
the last minute equaliser. Like I said, it was-
Yeah, they were good. They're really good. Very exciting team.
A lot of good technical players in that team. You
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
Wilfred
yeah.
Zaha,
Is it that
Elise?
Elise?
Yeah,
He's
I
very
love him
good,
on the
yeah.
right flank. Even Eze's on the bench today.
Eze.
Gallagher, all these
Yeah.
guys, really good technical teams. So
Harry Marcus is in the chat there asking, are you doing a watch along for Liverpool versus West Ham? I do believe we are.
Yes, we are. We're going to be doing that coming up straight after the Saturday football show. So make sure you check that out. I'm going to be hosting that. So make sure you check that out. I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, big game there for
big.
Liverpool versus West Ham. West Ham need to try and get...
Something's got significance on who's going to, obviously, Liverpool. If they win that game, they're 3 points behind City.
No.
3
Are they
points
level?
behind City.
Will they be level?
level.
No, they'll be
City
3
played.
points.
Oh, they got a game. Oh, they got a game in hand because they played the cup.
Yeah, they've got a game in hand, haven't they?
okay,
So they'll be 3 points behind City with a game in hand.
And that really turns up the pressure for the
Yeah.
derby tomorrow, doesn't it?
Yep, and then of course, West Ham, I'm trying to get into the top 4.
Yeah.
Need
Need a bit of a revival, don't they? West
yeah.
Ham's been slipping a bit.
Yeah, they won last week though. They beat Wolves last week.
Yeah.
When I don't know what Bruno Lage was doing, resting all these players. I don't know, did they have a Champions League game during the week or something? These managers, they infuriate you, don't they?
It's incredible sometimes.
And
honestly.
I can see you guys bringing in St. Maximan now.
Oh wow!
Oh, Alan
And I
St.
think
Maximin
that's a
coming off the
wise
bench.
move.
That's a good move. Now, St. Maximin's been missing for the last few weeks with a calf injury. He's been back in France getting some rehabilitation done for that. But a big move for him to come off the bench, Newcastle's star man.
He hasn't got his head-
still getting results
He hasn't
as
got his
well without the
headband
star
on. Where's
man.
his headband?
Has he not got one on?
He ain't got the Gucci headband.
Oh, it's been replaced by a LV headband this year, isn't it? He's had the Louis Vuitton on this year.
Oh,
Do you know what's going to be great for him coming on though? He's a ball carrier and he's going to get you up the pitch.
Well, I mentioned this
win
in
free
the-
kicks.
And we can hit Brighton on the count now if we're going to give them
Yeah, gives them
possession.
something to think about now. They have to retreat a little bit.
Well, I mentioned that in the first half side. In the second half, him coming off the bench, hitting on the counter attack
Yeah.
is going to be important. So you do that now as opposed to waiting for it to get to 2-2 and trying to chase the game.
Yeah.
Could be important.
Bayern Munich have dropped points in the Bundesliga, 1-1 against Bayer Leverkusen at
Did
home.
you see that tackle? It was being
Well,
naughty,
that
wasn't it?
only a yellow card as well for Duffy. Get that in the VAR, please. Yeah, Bayern Munich 1-1 full time in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Muller with an own goal.
Wow.
They've been playing very well this season, haven't they?
1-1 against Salzburg as well in the Champions League.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're not through.
I
to
heard
the
some
next
people
round
saying
yet.
that they think they'll win the Champions League. No chance.
You don't think so?
no
It's gonna
chance.
No, it's an English club's going to win that Champions
I
League.
think they got a good chance.
Is that Chelsea?
Bayern.
Yeah, I think they have.
The English club's going to win it.
It sounds like he's
Liverpool
sounds like he's
City-
shouting at our clubs. It's
Oh,
Man
Man
United
United got that.
Man United
Listen,
yeah.
to me, United have got a chance. They're still in it.
Really? I don't think
It's
Man
a
United have
knockout
chance at all.
competition. United have got a chance. When Chelsea won it, last year.
Both times when Chelsea won it.
When Chelsea won it last year, you
I
weren't
don't think
playing
you
that
got
great,
that
were you?
though. I don't think you got that grip between your teeth.
Was you playing that great? You weren't.
We
were
wasn't,
you?
but we had strong, stable defenses both times. That's the key. And I think with Harry Maguire back there making those mistakes,
I don't think United will win it, but they've got a chance.
Goal. Norwich have got a goal back in that game. Long way to go to redeem themselves after a shocking first half and shocking game up until this point. But Norwich have got a goal back, so they're trying to stay up, Matty.
Well, they're going to need it. That 20th place looks well and truly theirs unless they can make a miraculous comeback in the second half. 3-1 down at home to Brentford.
A lot of work.
The thing with the Champions League, obviously, you can say an English side is going to win it. There's 4 chances versus 1 Bayern Munich. I get that.
Yeah.
But Bayern Munich got a better chance than Man United.
Have they?
Yeah, I think
They haven't
so.
really been playing that great.
I don't know,
I think they might step up
I
their game
don't
for the
know.
Champions League.
Chelsea ain't defending their title. It's not happening.
Hey,
It's
listen.
not happening. Look, Real Madrid did it. Cool, we get it. It's not happening.
You won't want to
So
hear
I'm
it,
ruling-
Neeks,
I'm
but I think
ruling
it's,
Chelsea out
I think
just
it's
on the
Man
fact-
City's, yeah. Man City's.
I'm
They-
ruling
they-
Chelsea out just on the
do you know
fact they
what?
won it last year.
I always love to hear people say Chelsea got no chance. But
I'm just saying it because you won it last year. Not because you're not a good side.
I
Because
want
you
to
won
hear
it last year.
underdogs. I want to hear you ain't got no chance. I want to hear all of that. That's what I want to hear because I don't want nobody thinking.
I need
we're
Man
good.
City to play Liverpool in the next round to when they get knocked out. And
I think Liverpool got a great chance of winning it. I really do.
yeah.
They've got very good squads, very good, and I think City have got a chance as well. And I do think
I think
Chelsea
City's,
have a chance.
City's, for me.
I do think Chelsea
City
have got
have
a
the
chance.
pressure on them to
Chelsea
do
have
it.
got that defence that can. You look at the game last week, right? Remember how well Chelsea played? To me, Chelsea should have won that game.
Yeah, we should have against Liverpool.
Chelsea should have won that
On a
game.
one-off
If
game, Chelsea
right?
can-
As good as how high we rate Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think if you look on the chances, even though Chelsea, Liverpool had chances as well. That great save by
Double
Mendy.
save by Mendy, yeah.
But it was more. It was kept out by the brilliance
Exactly.
of Mendy.
Liverpool's chances were
Whereas-
saved.
Yeah.
Chelsea's chances were
Chelsea's
missed.
chances were missed.
But that's
I mean,
the story of Chelsea. Even
Mason
last year.
Mount should have had 2.
Yeah.
Pulisic should have had 1.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
You know,
They
Lukaku was a bit
couple
unlucky.
offside goals, unlucky.
Yeah, so,
unlucky,
and nobody, before that game, everybody's like...
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool. And, Liverpool won it
in the
on
end.
a tiny margin of penalties
yeah.
that went to
11.
11-10.
Yeah.
So,
And we
I don't think you can sleep on
No,
Chelsea
in a
because...
cup- in a cup competition,
in a
Chelsea
cup
are
competition,
very well
Chelsea are
suited to
formidable.
win.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they've been there, they've done it.
Yeah.
But I'm just going on probability of a team defending it. And for
Yeah,
that
I
reason,
hear that.
I guess
I'm
so.
like,
We played Liverpool 3 times this season and we drawn the 2 Premier League games as well. 1-1 at Anfield with the 10 men in the second half and then
Yeah.
obviously the 2-2 at Stamford Bridge after the interview for
Yeah.
Lukaku. So
and then 0-0 after extra time.
yeah,
before the
yeah.
penalties and the-
By the way, you know what? Obviously I came on. I'm taking the piss out of Chelsea and that because of the whole Roman Abramovich thing. But that's a great reaction to that today.
it
isn't
is. It is.
It is.
When you think about it,
So much pressure.
going away to Burnley
Yeah.
after all what's happened this week with Chelsea and to be winning 3-0. That's what I'm saying with Chelsea at the moment.
I thought they were going to get knocked out to Luton.
Right, they
though.
have that ability.
I
to
thought they
go
were
and-
going to get knocked out to Luton after the.
Luton-
That was the day of the news, wasn't it?
Yeah, the statement
It came out like right before kick-off, wasn't
Yeah.
It came out as the team. They dropped the statement, and the
And
team
the team
news.
news.
5 minutes later, here's the team for the game against Luton. No one cares about the team against Luton. What are you talking about? I did a watch along for that game, and it's the first time watching a Chelsea game in a very long time. I didn't care what the score was. I didn't care that the goals were going in. For Luton, I was just numb. Until Lukaku got the winner. But just for them to even come back in the second half against a Luton team that are in the playoffs, in the Championship, they are a solid team, to get that win and just get through, regardless of performance, is even a step in the right direction as well. Could have easily got knocked out.
Yeah.
Goal disallowed for Brentford as well.
For
Due,
Norwich. For Norwich.
For Norwich, was it? Goal disallowed
Goal
for Norwich.
disallowed for Norwich, yes, because it was 3-1, but it is, I guess,
3-0.
all that time.
Oh,
Back to
yeah.
3-0?
She
Yeah.
goes back to 3-0.
Wow.
When it rains, it
Chelsea!
Hey!
4-0.
Goal
4-0. We were just talking about.
Come on, the Chelsea. There you go. 4-0 at Turf Moor. Pulisic with the goal, actually. Fantastic. So another attacker on the score sheet. And it's another goal for Chelsea. I mean, we're just flying. I can't wait to watch this back. It seems like an absolute field day in the second half there at Turf Moor. It took a while to get going in that game. It was 0-0. It was the last of the games to get the goals.
half time.
Now Chelsea are strutting their stuff, trying to be first on match of the day. We'll see.
A Shref for the super chat says Dele Alli's on about obviously has an attitude problem, no hard work. Has the Premier League moved on from these typical strikers? Name 5 top strikers apart from Haaland and Mbappe, who Arsenal could sign this summer. Well, listen,
Vlahovic.
You're a joker.
I tell you what, he's some baller as well, man. He
30
looks
seconds
really
in the
good.
Champions League debut.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think the typical number 9 they're not being produced as much as it used to.
Well, look at Lukaku. He's bombed, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the goals are generally coming from wide areas.
areas.
And you got a few like false nines. And that kind
It's
of
how
stuff,
you play now, isn't it? If you play like Inter Milan did, completely to his strengths.
Yeah.
With a sort of second striker, you can work with a player like Lukaku. But if not,
These days, you want to come up. The fundamentals these days for the top teams is pressing from the front, and it's much easier, I guess, for those attacking midfielders, those wingers, that are a little bit more agile to press. Even Aguero, when Pep first came in, he said, "Listen, you need to start pressing. I know you're a top striker, but I will bench you if you don't press, because that is the philosophy: to have turnovers, to win the ball high up the pitch, and to try and force the issue from the front." And these bigger strikers, these bulkier strikers, they're not able to do it. They're not able to press. They're used to back to goal bullying.
Yep.
So it's the evolution of football. Do you remember when we had so many 10s? Ozil, James Rodriguez, Isco. We had 10s everywhere. Juan Mata. Now David Silva. Now we don't have any 10s. There's no 10s. James Rodriguez finished at Everton. He's gone abroad. Football moves on. The positions change.
Literally, Bruno Fernandes is the only, let's say, relevant 10 in world football I can think of.
I think of him as second striker, even him. No, he loves the goals too much.
No, but even I was going to say is that even since Ranieri's come in, he's moved him into a number 8 position, because like you said, we're moving. Football's moved away from having that, going through just that one man. You go through into the striker. Everyone has to contribute now. Everyone needs to be.
You only need to look at Man City for that, don't you? They're the best of it. They don't even play with a striker, number 10, number 9. They don't need it.
Nor the Liverpool. Liverpool don't have a striker.
Good message here from Cannon Fodder. R.I.P. Shane Warne. The legend made me love cricket.
I know, Neeks, I know you're well into your cricket like me. I couldn't believe that news. It was absolutely shocking.
I hope my manager's not watching. I was at work, working from home, and I heard the news. Literally, I didn't do no work for about an hour and a half. I was just stopped in my tracks.
I couldn't believe
it.
Yeah,
I could. That's obviously he's not playing now, but it's a massive loss for the cricket.
He's probably one, the best.
He's the great spinner
best ever spin bowler of all time. Of all time.
Wow. And one of the greatest cricketers of all time.
Yeah, one of the greatest cricketers of all time. And
great slip fielder.
Yeah, and a great commentator on cricket. And it's just unbelievable. It's shocking news, man. So many good people who we're losing. It's just unbelievable.
And what's crazy is that Rod Marsh, ex-Australian cricketer,
he passed away, the wicketkeeper.
About 12 hours before.
Yeah.
Shane Warne tweeted about it, and then 12 hours later, he's
crazy,
gone, man. Yeah, big up Shane Warne, man. That's a legend. And that word, sometimes the word legend gets thrown around very easy.
Yeah.
For Shane Warne, it's not even enough.
Ultimate legend.
It's not even enough.
Ultimate legend. Really
708 wickets.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. You gonna hang on here, Matty?
I hope so, Robbie. I hope so. It's nearly time. 20 minutes or so to go. Less than 20 minutes St. James's Park. Still 2-1 up. Oh, I've got a feeling there might be a goal either way. So I'm
like the pilot's just he stopped flying the plane. He's like, I'm frozen.
Meanwhile, whilst all that's going on, what's his name? Ravel Morrison scored another goal for Derby.
Oh wow!
Ravel Morrison. There
you go. Getting in that Man United
Ravel Morrison.
Of course, Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, before we lose tomorrow, got to celebrate something today.
Well, let's talk about that, Nick. Let's talk about tomorrow. Let's talk about the Manchester Derby.
I have to go to the toilet all of a sudden.
No, there's no toilet breaks here. Not allowed. Etihad tomorrow, mate. How are you feeling?
I'm not confident. I've got no reason to be confident.
You do have a good record there. You've got a good record against Man City as well.
We do, but all records out the window this season. Our away record out the window. Our second half record out the window. It's been a bad season. We're on bad form in terms of we're actually the last few games we actually played well.
Watford.
Well, Watford was the last game. Southampton, Middlesbrough, yes, in the cup, and even Villa, where I'm at in the Premier League. Burnley, that was another one we drew. All of those games, we took the lead. Villa, we were 2-0 up, and we can't finish our chances. Other than the Watford game where we just didn't score at all. So many chances, just miss
Ronaldo,
after
Bruno missing some big chances.
Miss after miss after miss. And it's like, as a manager, what more can you do? You put the players out there, you get in the tactics. They follow it to a T up till they get to the
goal.
To the goal. And
you should have been 2 or 3-0 up against Watford within about 10 minutes.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
I don't know what Man United are we going to play well tomorrow and miss our chances, or are Man City is going to do what they've done to us at Old Trafford early this season, and they've done to many teams, and just pass us the park? We don't have the counter-attacking edge that we had in previous years, which which gave us those good results against Man City.
That's true.
We had
Thanks to Rashford on
Martial,
form.
and he who shall not be named.
Could young
counter-attack.
Elanga step up? Could Andy Elanga step
But now
up?
you've got Ronaldo there, who's not going to give you the same edge on the counter attack.
Yeah.
And we're not going to dominate the position.
Man United don't have the same, number of forwards that they had in previous years when they were going to the Etihad. Like you said, there's a lot of players missing. Ronaldo really does not look like himself at all up top.
And it doesn't help that he literally has been the only one available.
Yeah.
For
Cavani,
for other
obviously,
reasons,
out.
we've got one striker.
Cavani may be back
Cavani's
tomorrow.
been injured. We loaned out Martial.
4-0 Brentford.
4-0, wow. That is a big beat down for Norwich.
Bueno.
For me, that would be heads
goodbye
down for
Norwich.
Norwich.
Yeah,
goodbye
that'd
Norwich.
be done
Goodbye
for Norwich. I don't
Bottom
know.
place sealed for Norwich.
I don't know how you recover from that if you're Norwich.
Super chat here from Iwantha Anthony before we get back to the Manchester derby. He's just paying his respects again to Shane Warne there. R.I.P. the legend, one of the best spun bowlers I've ever seen. Got to say Morelli was a great spin bowler as well of all time. Close second for one, but a massive loss for the game. Absolutely well said. But it's 3 wins. Last 3 games have been 3 wins for Man
context
United.
to that though, because Manchester United, for me, that defeat against Tottenham was the worst thing that could happen to Manchester United coming up against Man City in terms of Man City losing at home.
You mean back?
No, when Man City lost to
sorry, I
Tottenham,
see what you're saying.
because
Yeah,
now
yeah,
Man
yeah.
City have got the pressure on them with Liverpool right behind them. They have to
they
win
can't
this game.
falter.
When Manchester United beat Man City, one of the 3 games was actually towards the end of the season where the Premier League was already wrapped up. Another was a cup game. So you got to add a little bit of context. If Man City were a little bit more clear at the top of the Premier League where they were before, looking at 11, 13 points clear, then the pressure, you can ease, calm down. Okay.
Yeah, but then maybe that puts more pressure on City because
does, but-
they have to win.
But they
When you
usually
put
do
pressure
well
on
under
them-
pressure.
When you put pressure on them, they usually respond emphatically.
It's not like us. Like, we fumble under pressure.
but let's remember they ain't been playing great past couple games. You know what I mean?
See, the thing is, okay.
No, that's the fact. Last week,
But Robbie,
Everton should have got a draw.
yes.
Right, the most blatant handball.
But
I
it's been
thought
like 20 games.
Everton were playing really well. Everton playing really, really well in that. And the previous game to that, they lost to Tottenham.
Yeah.
And Tottenham, what did they do? What Man United do well? Deal with him on the counter-attack.
Yeah, but our counter-attack ain't as deadly as it was like last season and season before. That's why I'm worried, because the team that we have, it's like we need to dominate the ball because we don't have, Ronaldo's 37 years old playing week in, week out with no rest. We're not going to have that dynamism. So
Is Sancho a Langer or bust, isn't it?
What is,
It's gotta be.
Listen, Sancho's been playing well the last few games. I'm happy he's come into something. Elanga, listen, he's a talent. I'm not going to go any
lot of
further than
pressure.
that. I'm not going to put. But I'm not going to put that kind of. He's going
Scored
to be
a
the
couple of big
saviour.
goals.
Yeah.
But he's done well. He deserves to start.
Yeah.
I love Rashford. Rashford needs to be benched. I don't even understand. I didn't understand why Rashford was brought back into the game for Atletico Madrid. Because I'm like, he hasn't done anything
From a
in recent
tactical
weeks.
point of view, don't you think Rashford would start over Ronaldo? For me, I know Rashford has been playing well. But
Over who?
Over Ronaldo.
Ronaldo runs that game and he runs that dressing
Ronaldo,
room.
that's a big game, man. You
Yeah,
need
but
your big players
he's
for
not
them.
playing
games.
well.
But
He's not
Rashford's not playing well either.
Well, yeah.
So-
I mean, you can go in with 10 men if you want.
The goal was also disallowed for Brentford as well, so it's not 4, it's back to 3-0 for Brentford at Norwich City.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love to get something. If we get a draw, from the game, it's a good result
I'm back
for the
with draw.
90 minutes. But it's not a good result for the top 4 because we just need wins.
Yeah.
At this stage, we just need wins because I'm backing Arsenal to get results other than maybe we play Liverpool and Chelsea. But I'm backing Arsenal to get their results. We need to win. Arsenal got like 3 games in hand on us, and maybe they've got 2 points behind, something like that.
Like you the guys said earlier, those games in hand are against some top teams like Liverpool, Chelsea,
Tottenham.
But we've got
away,
Liverpool to play.
Tottenham away.
We've got Man City and we've got Tottenham. Our next
You've
3
got a
games.
tough run of
It's
fixtures
our
in
next 3
March.
games.
You do, yeah.
I think we'll beat Spurs. Call me confident or whatever, but I think we'll beat Spurs at Old Trafford. But the Liverpool away, Man City away.
Spurs have a big say.
I'll tell you
in this.
what.
If we get 2 points from those,
Massive chance for Arsenal this weekend.
It is. But who's not playing?
West Ham are playing Liverpool, as we know, later on, right? If it goes to form, you're going to go Liverpool. We got Watford tomorrow away. We're supposed to win that game, really, if we're looking to try and get into that top 4. And then, later on that day, Man City versus Man United. So it's a big chance for Arsenal. And then
Wolves lost as well.
Wolves
Looking like they're
are losing today. So, massive chance for Arsenal because, they would be... I think if they won tomorrow and Man United lost, they'd be a point above United with 3 games in hand. And it doesn't matter who those 3 are against.
you're above.
Yeah. So, big chance for us, man. But this season you don't know. It's just like it's so topsy-turvy, and I mean, 1 minute it's this, the next minute it's that. You just don't know, do you?
Well, Hamal says, good to see you, Robbie. Big up in Watford 0, Arsenal 5 for tomorrow. So he's confident. Confident.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I love it. A little bit of jinx. That'll
be a really tough game because funny enough, we've been there the past few seasons and they've done all right.
Dennis Sarr. Good,
remember we got that 2-2 against them with the Cajones thing.
That's what I'm saying. There's no big Deeney now, is there? So you make
you know what?
But
the thing is,
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, but the thing is though, there's certain players, right? Is I was chatting to one of the dads at my son's football game today, and he's a Leicester City fan, right? And you know, he was saying Vardy's back, and he goes, and that's what I was saying to him. I go, Leicester's not Leicester without Vardy.
Yeah,
and it's a bit like Watford. Watford without Deeney. I don't know. I don't fear them as much as when we were going away to Watford and Deeney's playing.
Yeah.
You're just thinking
he comes alive, doesn't
he?
Because
he brings everyone.
He's Watford.
He's that presence in the dressing room.
He's almost like he's the fans on the pitch. And it's the same with Vardy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got some players like that for your football club that just
they raise the expectations, they raise the effort levels, they raise everything.
They kind of set the precedence how you need to be playing on the pitch.
And I think Watford are missing like a Deeney this season.
Big time.
They're missing that. Like when you're in a relegation fight, when you're in a dog fight.
It's not even
you
just
need those characters,
pitch, even in the dressing room.
In the dressing room, just around the place. You know what I mean? Those guys that keep every player honest.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
You need those leaders, man. But what we'll look at now is the half-5 game, big game, as we've said. Liverpool taking on West Ham. The lineups are out. Matisse, take me through Liverpool's starting 11.
Yeah, so obviously Liverpool, West Ham, big game in the title race and in the Champions League race as well. Alisson starts in goal for Liverpool. Trent at right back with Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. So basically the strongest possible defence as well. Fabinho is also in the team with Henderson and Keita also in that midfield. And then Mane, Diaz, who's in really good, he's acclimatised immediately to English football, I think. And Salah also up top as well. So a very strong Liverpool team, of course, not taking any prisoners with obviously the Carabao Cup win and success. I'm seeing their players posting on social media, the first one out of many they're chasing. So they're trying to do the quadruple.
No quadruple.
Let's start that quadruple talk now, just to juju it up for
Liverpool fans. Listen, get over it. It's
transfer for Newcastle.
St. Maximin off the bench, blocked and tipped over the bar.
But yeah, Diaz. Listen, that flick over James's head.
Oh, spicy.
Bro,
this guy was just like this.
all game.
Like, all game. I'm just looking at him like, there was no need for that, bro.
He wants to prove that he's
quality. He looks a quality signing. Thank God Tottenham didn't get him out.
Yes. Listen, we know how this goes, Robbie. Tottenham wants someone else comes in last minute, takes them. We did it with Willian, you know, the list is endless.
So there's, what was that? No Joel Matip there?
No Matip, yeah. Konate starts. I like Klopp, what he's doing with these players like Konate. He obviously is looking towards the future. Same with Diaz. He eases them in. He leaves Diaz out against Burnley away. He says it's not quite the right game for him. We know what that means. And he's done it with Fabinho. He's done it with all of those new players that have come in. He just eases them in, you know, looks after them, and he doesn't put the pressure immediately on them. And I think that's why a lot of times we see players not always performing when they come to new clubs, because they're put under immediate pressure to just start immediately. Yeah. You know, it's a new language they're learning, a new country, you know, new everything for them. It's not always a given that they're going to play well from the beginning. You do need to look after them and bed them in.
And we'll look at the away side now, West Ham. The big news that's coming out is there's no Declan Rice for West Ham. He's not in the team at all. He's
Game over.
Unwell, apparently. Unwell, the young England international. Fabianski in goal for West Ham. Back three of Creswell, Zuma and Dawson. Ben Johnson, Thomas Suchek, Vlasic and Fornals as the midfield, with Bowen, Antonio and Lanzini up top. Now, West Ham off the back of a disappointing result against Southampton in the Cup, beaten 3-1 there, quite comfortably, and with no Declan Rice.
You can just imagine, I can imagine Nicky and all the guys from West Ham Fan TV, they're on their way up. They get that news, Declan Rice, and they just turn off on the next service station and head back home. I mean, that's a massive.
We'll stop off on a station.
That's a massive blow. No Declan Rice, against Liverpool, where you need a Declan Rice in that midfield. I mean, that's a huge loss.
This is the issue for West Ham in this race for the top four, and why for me they won't make it is because they got the Europa League to contend with as well. They got Sevilla in the next round, of course, after they got through the playoffs. they don't have the squad depth. You know, you look at Souček and Rice; those players have just had to play every game. When you're looking to rest and rotate, there's no one really there. Same goes for a lot of that team. Antonio up top as well. No other striker. And that's what's going to be the difference.
It's good for them maybe that he scored against Southampton, even though they lost the game.
Yeah.
Because he's been struggling for goals, but he's
Declan
been
Rice.
relied on game in, game out.
Declan Rice was that
game in, game
midfield
out.
against Liverpool's midfield three.
Declan Rice is their most important player. And like you said, Matty, man, that midfield of Liverpool.
That
is
battle's
strong,
lost
man.
now, without a doubt.
You haven't got Declan Rice in there.
Tackles and
But they've changed to the
interceptions.
three at the back, I guess, to try and combat Liverpool's wide play, which is generally where they play.
Could be goals on that one.
I think there will
Make
be.
sure you tune into the live watch along.
It won't be a 0-0. That won't be a 0-0. I
If
can
it's
tell you
anything
that
to
now.
go by with the 3 o'clock, as we're in for a treat. 2 4-0s, 1 3-0, 1 2-1 and 1 2-0. And these 3 o'clock kick-offs will close in the final 5 minutes or so. Just touch on Declan Rice though, Neeks. Any chance Man United could bring him in this summer? He's
You know what?
touted to get on the move.
I would love Declan Rice at Manchester United.
Of course you would. I think everyone
in
would
theory.
have Declan Rice.
The problem is, we don't have Euro owners. We don't have Euro.
We don't know.
You
who
don't
our
have your
owner
owner
is.
either.
I don't even know who our owner is.
We don't have Messi's owner. So we could get Declan Rice. Our owners do. Well, we do spend money, but that'll be it. We get Declan Rice and say that's it. 100 million marquee signing.
Shut
But
up.
that might be enough.
No, but it's not. It's not enough.
Not with that front line of it.
No, that's
Rashford
it's not.
So if it's Declan Rice plus all the other positions we need a striker. With everything that's happened, we need a striker in the summer now,
Yeah.
which you probably didn't expect that we needed.
37, 6-year-olds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The one who should have been there probably ain't playing for us again. We're looking like we probably need a right back, and the way things are going at the back, a centre back ain't too far off the. And if Pogba leaves, it might be 2 midfielders that we need, not just that. So if you spend 100 million on Declan Rice, as long as that doesn't stop the end the budget for what we actually need, cool, get him.
Yeah.
But if there is a financial budget, then we have to go for someone cheaper.
There's
In
a-
that defensive, because defensive midfield is so important.
There's a
But we
brawl
can't
breaking
blow
out at
our
St
budget
James's
on
Park.
that.
Bit of a
We
brawl breaking out here.
say that with
Newcastle
Joe Linton.
Brighton. Joe Linton, the Brazilian Don, is not happy.
Joe
Go on,
Linton
Joe, I've got
and
your
that,
back.
Kicking off.
Joe Linton and that Cucurella. I mean, I know who my money's on. You know what I mean?
Joe Linton, fair enough.
He's
Yet
a
to see-
unit.
Yet
Yeah.
to see what he's really angry about. I'm sure we'll have a look in a second here, but he's in the referee's ear. But he will get the yellow card. Big Joe Linton.
Yeah. No, Oliver Skip would knock him out, wouldn't he? According to Toby. You know what I mean? Now, let's get them both for the ring. You know what I mean? Joe Linton and Skip. You know what I mean?
Big good fight.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Cucurella turned back in and his arm kind of went.
Where's the VAR on that?
Wow.
I think
Play on,
Cucurella
play on.
just better keep it down in case he comes and checks him after the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause
Watch your back.
Joe Linton's a unit, mate. Trust
It's a long
me.
train from Newcastle to Brighton.
Blackpool have took the lead away to Stoke. Blackpool 1-0 up away to Stoke. Coventry have pulled one back away to Swansea. We'll have a look at the championship scores in just a minute for you there as the games are rounding up here. 5 minutes or so left on the clock.
Fulham on the way back.
Fulham,
Yeah.
big win again today,
Noisy
2-0 at
neighbours.
lunchtime. Oh, it's a
Actually,
pace, isn't it?
Yeah, you know,
You
I
go,
heard
you
you.
go down, you go down.
I heard you saying earlier that more London clubs in.
I was being sarcastic.
Because to me, I think
Nasty fat.
don't you think it makes it harder for a London club to win? The amount of London clubs that are in.
Oh yeah, probably because the rivalry, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's more difficult
yeah.
for sure because it's
Because we face more derbies.
yeah, it's true. It's a slight issue where you got all these London rivals, and of course, being Arsenal, Chelsea, we don't look at Fulham and say, but it's a big game for them.
They're gonna raise
Massive
their game.
QPR, huge game. It's the game of their season for us. We're like,
Bring them all up.
And then for somebody
Millwall, all of you come.
and then for somebody like Matty, they're travelling. I mean,
Yeah.
bloody how many times
it's
they got
long.
to go from Newcastle to
Yeah.
London?
That's
You know,
what I'm thinking about, Robert. I'm thinking about our travel
They
expenses.
got to come down here for Palace, Arsenal,
Yeah.
Tottenham, Chelsea,
Yeah.
Brentford,
Watford.
Watford.
Yeah.
What's that?
Then you've got
6
Southampton,
games.
Brighton even further.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. I was thinking about our travel
We may
expenses.
as well
when I
be in
said
the
more
SPL.
London clubs. You're actually closer to you're
We've
closer
got
to
to be
Celtic
doing
and
up Celtic
Rangers.
Park every week,
Yeah,
mate.
it's cheaper fees.
Imagine this season, Fulham and Bournemouth come up.
Oh,
That's
man.
enough.
two more down south.
We'll at least need Middlesbrough to come up from the playoffs, hopefully. just for expressions. I want Middlesbrough to come up just for expressions. Currently 5th in the Championship, Middlesbrough, so
Yeah.
they're looking good for
They
that
do
playoff
well.
spot.
They do. I tell you what, they played well the other. They deserve that.
They
Oh, yeah,
dominated
100%.
that game.
Yeah,
Dominated
against
that
Tottenham.
game.
Because I mean, even when they beat United, there was a bit.
They didn't deserve to beat Man United.
That was a bit fortunate penalty.
dodgy
So that was
goal.
that FA Cup
Handball,
sort
the
of,
goal,
but yeah, there was the handball in that. But the other night against Tottenham, no, they deserved that.
I mean, they were unlucky that it went to extra time. They should have won that in 90 minutes.
They should have sealed it. They should have had it sealed.
Yeah.
But the QPR also in the playoffs, so QPR could also come up.
QPR as well.
Another London team.
Yeah,
so.
that'd be another London derby. That'd be a local derby.
Yeah.
You could have like Fulham, Brentford,
QPR.
and QPR.
So that's what we said. Start the
West London showdown.
Yeah.
West London Cup.
Preston may have got a last-minute winner at home to Bournemouth.
Ooh, maybe
Scott
Bournemouth ain't
Potter's
coming up.
Bournemouth there, Jakobsen in the 89th minute for Preston North End.
That
Big
league
goal
is
there.
so competitive.
It's so tight, isn't it? It's a great league. It's a class league. the
Crazy.
Championship.
Brilliant.
Well, you know a bit more about it.
Excuse me. it's been 5 years now, right? And if there's anyone on this table who's lately go back to Championship, it's one of you three.
He's got a point. He's got a point.
Listen, he ain't even won today's game yet. You know what I mean?
He's not even won yet.
Calm
So
down.
you think about next 5 minutes.
What's your 6 minute stoppage time, is it? Or?
Cucurella last minute winner celebrates in Joe Linton's face. So yeah.
Preston, though, since it's St. Maximan coming forward, since he's come on,
Yeah.
There's Bruno Guimaraes as well.
Like you said, he's got him high up the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, goal in the Norwich game, 3-1 now.
It may be just allowed.
We'll see if it's Team Pookie, but we'll see if it actually stands because the last 2 goals we've said in this game have been disallowed.
Yeah.
But Norwich, as it stands, are back to 3-1, a consolation from Pookie. I remember when he first came up to the Premier League the first time, he was slapping in the goals in the first month, then he went quiet again, Chinese whispers or something. It's crazy.
And there is Middlesbrough as well. We just talked about
Duncan
the Borough
Watmore.
2-0 win for them at home to Luton.
Against
They've just
Luton.
doubled the lead.
Yeah.
Did Watmore used to play for Wigan?
Yeah, he used to be for Sunderland as well.
Two teams that obviously played in midweek against Premier League opposition. 2-0 to Middlesbrough in that game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that Timmy Pookie goal has it been.
Looks like our Pookie one is in 92nd minute. Too late for Norwich and Matisse. You'd think that was too little, too late overall in this season, wouldn't you? Considering the bottom of the league now, it's looking bleak for Norwich fans.
100%. I mean, let's be real. If you're going to escape relegation, you got to pick up points at home to Brentford. Not only are you trying to win a game yourself and take 3 points, but you can obviously damage a rival and bring them closer to you. So, you know, Brentford are one of those teams that I looked at that I thought, you know, they could be in some trouble along with Leeds and maybe now Everton as well. We've got to remember they're in this. But if you're allowing a team that is above you to take points and get further away from you, then you don't stand a hope. So Norwich, for me, definitely will look like they're going down. Yeah. And for me, I said it, I think they got the squad for it. You know, they have that championship squad ready to go.
Matisse, I don't know if you saw these. Listen, the rumours at this stage, I can't confirm this, right? But apparently they're saying that today, during the minute's applause for the Ukraine, you know, when they held up the Ukraine stuff at the start of the Burnley game, that Chelsea fans were chanting Roman Abramovich's name. Now, again,
distasteful.
Yeah.
It's
That's not
poor.
Can't confirm it, you know what I mean? It's just
true,
rumours that are out there.
If it's true, it's poor. You know,
It's poor because there's nothing wrong with charting Roman Abramovich's name.
Yeah, but there's a time and a place.
Why
So
at
not-
that point?
yeah.
What point are you trying to
Exactly.
make to do that? If it's true.
Yeah,
If it's true.
exactly.
And of course, there was the fact that none of the Premier League games shown in China today.
Yes, I see that.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
They're
That's
saying
crazy.
that, you know, because they're objecting to the Ukrainian, you know, sort of flags being shown and stuff like that.
It's mental.
The world is a crazy
Living in
place right
crazy
now.
times,
You
man.
know,
Living
there's
in
a
crazy
war,
times.
there's this pandemic is crazy right now in the world.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Pandemic? What pandemic?
That's
gone now.
It's gone now.
As soon as there's another headline,
Yeah,
it's gone.
it's
But
gone.
a couple of games have gone in the Premier League as well. Full time at Villa, 4-0 to them. Matisse full time at Burnley.
Yeah, full time at Burnley at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Chelsea 4.
Big win.
Obviously a double from Kai Havertz, a goal from Reece James to kick everything off, and obviously to end the rage is Pulisic out there as well with the 4-0. So brilliant win, really brilliant win.
Big win, considering it was 0-0 at half time as well.
Yeah,
Matisse, that's it.
the half-time team talk was clearly
Thomas took over the good half-time team talk there.
yeah, 100%.
Next you'll have Conor McGregor giving half-time team talks.
Oh, listen.
You'll have the new owner, Conor McGregor, giving out half-time team talks.
Just
Billy walking into the bridge.
I can already see him, you know, coming into the pitch at Stamford Bridge, you know, doing his first speech with the mic. We're not here to take part, we're here to take over. Proper 12 lifted into the sky, you know, new branding and whatnot. It'd be crazy, but yeah.
Conor McGregor, right? One of the favourites to take over at Chelsea, apparently.
Dana White, key stakeholder.
Conor McGregor? Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Needs to take care of the octagon more instead of trying to take care of a whole club.
Tell you what,
Concentrate.
before the last full times go, yes, there's a big full time at St James's Park, baby. Get in, up the mags, up the Premier League mags.
As
That's
you
what
can
I'm
tell.
talking
He's
about,
back,
baby.
he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive now.
Thanks for joining us.
Can you smell that?
Matty's
Smells
back.
like Premier League safety to me.
Matty has come alive.
He's back alive, man.
Feels good. That was a stressful second half. The 2-1 Newcastle put everyone behind the ball. We invited Brighton to get back into it. The pressure was there, but we've hung on. 14th in the league, 7 points off relegation.
What a big win.
It is looking good for 8 games unbeaten. Eddie Howe's Black and White Army.
Yep.
Happy days.
Massive.
Big
Good
win
times.
for Newcastle.
Good times, yeah.
And they could start to dream of mid-table now and some sort of comfortable finish if
Yeah.
they continue on this run. Obviously, that's now eight games on the trot without a defeat for Newcastle. And this is without, St. Maximin playing a lot recently. This is without the new signing Bruno Gomes as well.
Trippier.
No
Trippier injured.
No Callum Wilson.
No
He's
Callum
been out for
Wilson.
months.
So this is not a Newcastle team that are even at their peak, So this
Big
is
up again,
impressive.
once again. Big up Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Big up,
Big up Eddie Howe, man. He's got, Bruce literally was so negative. It's like he went into games like, we've lost already. Oh, let's just hold out for a draw. So, whereas Eddie Howe's winning games. He's on the front foot.
Yeah, and he said, look at what it means to Eddie Howe
Look at
there
him,
at the
delighted.
full-time whistle. And like you said, Robbie, he's changed the philosophy in Newcastle United, Eddie Howe. He's came in with that winning mentality, that togetherness, the team spirit. He's completely changed the dynamic of how we play. Changed the fortunes of John Joe Shelby, of Joelin, on of Ryan Fraser, who again scored today.
Sure.
It's great to see people in the comments happy for Newcastle, actually.
Yeah.
Liverpool fans happy there.
They'll only be happy
enjoy
until
it
you
while
get
it's
Enjoy it while it lasts. Everybody's happy when you're not involved in deciding the trophy.
You're going to
When
go
you get
from one of the
involved,
most loved
everyone's gonna
clubs
hate it.
to the most
everyone's going to
hated.
hate you very soon.
Well, there
Don't
was a
worry
bit of
about it.
hate here as well from someone saying Newcastle will be the next Chelsea who will buy the league. There it is. I expect that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're
Super
gonna
You
chat.
can have a good life.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good
I'll
life.
cry into me trophies. That's what I'll be doing. I'll enjoy my midweek trips to the new camp. Thank you. Robbie Singh has said, "Big up, Neeks. How are we feeling about the derby?"
Yeah, I did mention it earlier. Big up yourself, Robbie, my guy. Listen, I just hope we come our way with something. I can't see us winning, but I'll take a draw. If you gave me a draw right now, I'll snatch it. Even if it helps Liverpool towards the 20th league title. Listen, we need to focus on ourselves. We need points.
He's going for the draw. I'm going for a draw. I'll go 2-2 as well. We'll do a quick Sunday prediction now ahead of tomorrow's fixtures and Monday night Everton v Spurs. I'll go 2-2 for Man City, Man United. Matisse, what are you saying?
I'm going with a comfortable Man City 2-0 win. I think business is back. Business is restored and they go back to normal.
I think it's going to be a very tough game for City. I do think they'll get over the line. I'll go 2-1, but I don't think it's going to be, I wouldn't be shocked by a draw.
Yeah.
Even I wouldn't even be shocked by a United win. because-
Really?
I mean, with a derby, you can't really be shocked with anything, innit?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
That's
shocked
the
if we
thought.
won. I just can't see it.
And
I
United
can't see
are
it.
going to be a bit confident. They haven't, they've got a good record away there. I guess there's more pressure on them this time because both teams are fighting for something.
Yeah.
United for the top four, City for the league, obviously. So
And we'll stay with you, Robbie. Arsenal at Vicarage Road tomorrow. Score prediction?
not an easy game. Big opportunity for us.
Please, Robbie. That's it. Easiest 3 points all season.
Why didn't you get them last week?
That's why we're not top
And you
four
did it,
favourites.
and actually remember they
Resuscitate Neeks, bro. Resuscitate.
and actually remember they beat you at Vicarage Road as well. That was when Oli got sacked, didn't
We
they?
are
So
not top four favourites. You lot are.
Premier League,
Arteta underrated.
What's going on here?
Arteta
season was
underrated.
You were in a title race at the start of the season. Now
A
you're
long time
You
ago.
can't see August.
When
It was that long
Ralph
ago.
Ragnick came in, it was the father of Klopp and
Ralphie,
Tuchel,
Ralphie,
the creator of all.
But you saw he was pulling the strings in that 0-0 missed chances cup final. That's all Ralph.
Listen,
Ralphie,
you know what you need a penalty. That's what you need.
I'll go 2-0 Arsenal, but I don't think it's gonna be comfortable.
Matisse?
I think Arsenal will win this as well. But I do think Dennis the Medicine Sarr will be problems. So I'm going to go over a 2-1 win for Arsenal.
I'll go 3-0 Arsenal.
4-1 Arsenal.
Put that pressure on. Look at him.
He's trying to do
That's it.
psychology. He's
Yeah,
trying to
he's
do
got
psychology.
psychology. He knows
At
what he's
least I
doing.
don't trust this guy.
Lacazette,
I don't-
Nketiah, world-class strikers, man.
World class.
Well, at least they scored last week.
Exactly. See, exactly.
Would you take him at Manchester United, would you, yeah? Nketiah and Lacazette, they're running out of contract this week.
You
Nketiah on the counter
you couldn't pay me to take the.
Bro, that's two replacements for Cavani and Ronaldo right there.
Listen, I'll give Ronaldo a 5-year deal if he meant not getting Lacazette and Nketiah.
And the game week rounds off in the Premier League at the Spurs Stadium on Monday night. Spurs versus Everton. For me, I'm going to think Spurs will bounce back. Spurs will win that one. I think Everton under Lampard will yet to see much. I'd go for a 2-1 Spurs win there. I
was actually going to go over Everton draw against Tottenham. I just feel like they have to get something. They're obviously in a relegation fight. They've got the players to do it. So I'm going to go over a 1-1 in that game, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking 1-1.
1-1.
Spurs are so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Like,
whatever they did last week, they'll do the opposite. So they'll win one, lose one. Win one, lose one.
I'm going to go with a draw 1-1.
Yeah, you know what? I'd love Spurs to drop points. I can't see it, to be honest. They've got a good record against Everton. Everton are hopeless at the moment, man. Serious. On the road as well.
Well, you said they deserve to get something against...
No, that was at home.
City.
At home, but on the road, I don't know. If they play like they did against City... They've got a chance, but I don't know.
Flash in the pan. I mean, either side of that defeats. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just can't see it, man. I think, unfortunately, 2-1.
Full time in the other Premier League games as well. Norwich 1, Brentford 3. That game's now finished. Massive win for Brentford there in the race for survival. And
massive
Wolves,
loss for Norwich.
Yeah, Wolves 0, Crystal Palace 2. That game's over as well. Big result for Wolves in a negative way, because chasing European football to lose at home to Crystal Palace, it doesn't help their chances.
I think they've blown Europe now.
You think so?
They have. Big time.
Yeah. Well, they're now in 8th place.
Yeah.
40 points. It depends what Europe you're talking about.
Conference League.
When I talk about Europe, I'm talking about top 6.
Champions,
UCL. I'm talking about top 6. I don't include that conference. You know what I mean?
It will grow on you.
The hotel conference. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
It will grow on you.
I'm not into that, right? But I think they're kind of blown it, man. I mean, a couple of weeks ago they were, now played as well 27 games, 40 points, 27 games. Tottenham 25 just above them. They played, but they got 42 points. I can't. I think they've lifted themselves too much, because what you have to remember. You got so many teams to get past as well.
Yeah.
There's so many teams on similar point.
And we can look at the table there. 5 points off 5th, 5 points off 6th even. Arsenal in 6th there. Wolves have played more games than
played 3 more games than Arsenal.
Yeah. So it's getting tight, gentlemen. Let's get our boards out. We did some predictions, of course. That's how it works.
Hey, I'll judge.
You missed it, Robbie.
I'll judge it. Let me see how close you lot got.
Because I'm looking for a few weeks in a row. Yeah.
All right. Let me start off with Neeks. Let's see what Neeks has.
They said I could change the...
No cheating.
At full time, I could change.
No cheating. All right, spin your board round. Let's see it.
Oh, you want to see that?
Turn your board round.
Reveal that board.
So Neeks went, Burnley 1, Chelsea 1. You got that hopelessly wrong.
I have it.
Villa 2, Southampton 2. Got that hopelessly wrong. You did have a Brentford win. So you had Brentford winning 3-2, so you would have got 1 point for that. You did have Newcastle winning 2-0 as well, so you would have got a point for that. But you had Wolves winning, so you would have got 2 points out of everything that you got there, right?
Tell you what,
let's get Matty.
Sorry, guys, man. I took a big game.
My title may be done, because I haven't done well this week.
You haven't done well. This is good. Wolves 2, Palace 1. You got that wrong. Norwich 0, Brentford 0. Wrong. Ooh. Newcastle 3, Brighton 1. You got 1 point there. Villa 1, Southampton 1. Nothing for that. And Burnley 0, Chelsea 2. So you've got 1 point. So you're both on 2 points right now.
On 2 points.
Does Matisse take it?
Don't do it, Matisse.
Let's Matisse take it this week.
Oh, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not looking good either.
Wolves 1, Palace 1. Nothing for that. Norwich 0, Brentford 0. Nothing for that. Newcastle 2. Brighton 1. Exact scoreline, so you get 3 points for that.
Okay.
3 points for that. Villa 2, Southampton 2. Nothing for that. But Burnley 0, Chelsea 1. You would have got 1 point for that. That's 4 points. Our winner is Matisse.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. A second win, by the way, in 4 weeks on this Saturday football show. So.
And Chelsea won as well.
Yeah.
Really bounced back from all the
negativity. We need a league table of these predictions.
We need a league table.
We need a league table.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a league table up.
Get a league table up. Because I've won the last few weeks and they get single prize.
No, I said Norwich 2. No, it's just Norwich 1, Brentford 3.
These markers are a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
But stay
Brilliant.
tuned, everyone. We will be here continuing on DR Sports 5:30 for the live watch along of that big game, Liverpool versus West Ham with Don himself.
Doyle
Robbie
and
found-
Jason in the building. I don't know if maybe Jason's gone home when he found out about the
Declan Rice
being out. But it's Liverpool versus West Ham. Great game coming up. We're going to be doing a watch along to it. I'm hosting it, so make sure you check that out. So that's going to be great.
Thanks for joining us for a goal-filled second half, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Brilliant.
Matisse, been great hosting the show, mate.
Brilliant.
Great job.
Yeah.
And Neeks, good seeing you, brother.
Thank you.
And good luck for tomorrow for Manchester Derby. We will leave you with the thoughts of the legend that is Andy Tate, with his views on the Manchester Derby. Big up everyone that's subscribed and tuned into this show. Smash the like button. Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Interesting game, and I just hope the players take note, because if, like I say, if they roll over and die, and they try to run away, there's going to be nowhere for them to hide. But even if they were to get a win, I'll be happy. Of course, I'd be happy, and they get something. But they're cheating themselves. They're cheating the fans. They're cheating. Like you see, where was that? If they do a performance, that's brilliant. Where's that been all season?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because the last season we beat them 2-0. All right, it's empty stadiums at the time, but he said, "Where's that been? Where's that been?" And you say you can't beat them other teams, but where's that? And you think it's all right to turn up for one game. Now, if you turn up and we lose, I can still hold my head high. All United fans can, and that's brilliant, lads. That's what we lost, but fuck it, you give it your all, lads. That's fantastic.